His Excellency Dr. Saleh Al-Tamimi, Iraqi Ambassador in UK. Dear guests and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure on behalf of the Iraqi Environment and Health Society UK to welcome you all to the 4th Annual Scientific Conference focusing on the oil and gas industry. First, we are grateful for His Excellency Dr. Haider Al-Abadi for supporting this conference. We wish him and Iraq well. It is not a secret that oil and gas industry is the main source of national income and will continue so for the foreseeable future. Due to building and reconstruction of the liberated area demands, rehabilitation of the infrastructure and to service the national and international debates. This is relentless pressure to increase production of oil and better management of the gas wealth, which many would agree to be necessary, while others advocate that one of the priorities of the new government is to diversify sources of national income and consider alternative sources of energy, particularly in the current world where oil and gas prices are volatile, unpredictable, and susceptible to political manipulation by major players. We environmentalists are pragmatic. We believe that Iraq is desperate for adequate funds to implement the national plan to improve basic services to their citizens, clean air, fresh water, and improve health, and to live in a green, safe environment. However, this requires major investments and will require funds too. Therefore, the answer is in oil and gas industry that is environmentally friendly, based on comprehensive impact and risk assessment, promoting high quality standards and good practice with adequately and appropriately trained staff that also support local community projects to help the local people. However, this will require active collaboration with the United Nations, NGOs, and all stakeholders. The creative potential of Iraqi universities should be tapped by promoting and supporting research projects with Iraqi universities and particularly environmental departments. The media has a role by publishing accurate, well-researched reports to raise public awareness and minimize anxieties produced by false claims that lead to public panic. It is also true to say that the oil and gas industry require to observe national laws and uphold highest standards of practice to minimize pollution of air, water, and soil, which cause serious consequences to people's health. In fact, attention to oil and gas started in our second conference. Today, we have excellent speakers who will deal with these issues and indeed others. Normally, we provide long version program which include speakers and presenters' CVs. However, to save the environment, we provided the sessions chairs with summary CVs. The full version will be part of the preceding publication, which when we manage to have adequate funds. We are grateful to all today conference speakers. Another important feature to this conference is the poster exhibition, a tradition started in 2016 to encourage young Iraqi academics studying PhD on an Iraqi scholarship scheme in various British universities. We thank We thank the cultural attaché for facilitating this. We are having a special session to celebrate their achievement. They are the future leaders of improving Iraqi environment. We wish them success and hope to see them as speakers in our future conferences. Thanks to many colleagues, friends, and volunteers who have contributed to the success of this conference in different ways. Thanks also to His Excellency the Iraqi Ambassador, Dr. Saleh al-Timimi, Mr. Nazar Marjan, and Dr. Ahmed al-Safar, and Dr. Ahmed al-Naqash. And to the Cultural Attaché, Dr. Nahi Yusuf Yassin al-Rikabi, for encouragement and continuing support. This year has witnessed significant collaboration inside and outside Iraq. We are delighted that we have established collaboration with CWC, who supported the society. Thanks to the Iraqi Environment and Health Society members and advisors. Today, we are also supported by a group of volunteers. We thank them all. Fund supporting our society activities is very scarce. We didn't manage to secure funding for this conference. Our policy is to accept financial donation with no conditions attached. Please feel free to donate if you wish. We are very pleased that since the Society started organizing conferences on environment and producing reports in 2015, interest in environmental issues in Iraq grown gradually and steadily. Iraqi organizations in UK and abroad has started to develop their own way in dealing with these issues. We are delighted with these positive changes, which was initiated by the Iraqi Environment and Health Society UK. The Iraqi Environment and Health Society UK, we see the environment is the responsibility of all. Our biggest dream, however, is to see a clean and safe environment available to all people inside Iraq. This year, we also acknowledging some colleagues' achievement and to thank them too. Please donate. Please don't forget tonight. No, I cannot do it. Please don't forget tonight is also the gala conference dinner night. It starts at 7 p.m. and located 10 minutes walk towards Bloomsbury from University College London. Mr. Ihsan al-Imam, an accomplished oud player who kindly donated his time, will remind us of the beautiful Iraqi songs. Finally, I welcome you again, and please leave us your email to maintain contact with you and complete the conference evaluation form to make our future conferences even better, as we value your feedbacks. Thank you. Our next conference will be on Sunday, 11th of November at UCL on desertification in Iraq from water scarcity to climate change. التصحر في العراق بين شحة المياه والتغير المناخي. وشكرا جزيلا.
Additionally, Iraq has great natural and human resources and raw materials. The importance of oil is not limited to its role in developing Iraq, but on the level of the international oil market for the being reserves, which can be reinforced in the future because of Iraq being one of the most responding countries to the increased demand of energy. The World Bank expects the Iraq economic growth will accelerate in 2018. sustained by higher oil productions. It is more likely that oil and gas industry will continue to attract foreign businesses activities in the near future, and that Iraq has a wide range of untapped oil and gas fields, which requires a large number of investment to develop these fields in accordance with the preservation of environment. On the other hand, we have to keep our environment and the health of the people of Iraq as a priority. And Ministry of Oil, and with engagement with the Ministry of Health and Environment, monitoring the oil project and ensure that the oil companies meet the pollution and environment criteria. I wish you all success in this conference to deliver the Iraqi government with the recommendations and papers work to promote and develop the public services. Thank you. طبعا اسمحوا لي أنقل لكم تحيات السيد السفير واعتذاره عن الحضور لأنه خارج بريطانيا في الوقت الحاضر. شكرا جزيلا.
Thank you. Before I start, could I welcome also Dr. Ahmed al-Naqash from the Iraqi Embassy. Thank you. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كلمة المستشار الثقافي في لندن. السلام عليكم. باسم الدائرة الثقافية الإقليمية في لندن نود أن نعبر عن تهاني من حارة لكم في مؤتمركم العلمي هذا الذي يتناول تحديات النفط والغاز في العراق. الكل على علم أن العراق يعتبر من الدول الغنية بالغاز والنفط على مدى العصور، بل يقال أن آخر قطرة للنفط ستكون في أرض العراق. مما يدعوننا جميعا إلى الاهتمام بما يدور حول شؤون النفط والغاز من كافة النواحي، ابتداء من التنقيب والاستكشاف ومرورا بالاستخراج والتنقية والصناعات المختلفة وانتهاء بالجوانب الإيجابية والسلبية التي تنتج عن تلك العمليات، وخاصة التوازن الطبيعي على وفي الأرض والتلوث البيئي وأثره على التنوع الإحيائي وغيرها. تشكل المؤتمرات العلمية الشاشة الناصعة التي تعكس المشاكل والخطط الناجحة لحلها وتسليط الضوء على الجوانب التي تخدم الإنسان، وتقدمه إضافة إلى أنها تؤشر المستوى العلمي الذي وصل إليه الباحثون العراقيون ومدى تفهمهم للاقتصاد المعرفي في هذا المجال. إن مجال صناعة النفط والغاز هو من أكبر المجالات التي يهتم بها البلد، بل إن اقتصاد البلد الآن مرهون بتلك الصناعات، وعليه يجب أن يكون هناك تخطيط علمي مدروس واستراتيجي يراقب ويواكب تلك المهام وبشكل دقيق، ويأتي ذلك قطعا من ثمار جهود العلماء والباحثين في تلك المجالات لغرض السيطرة بشكل عام وأمين على مخزونات ومخرجات تلك الصناعات، واضعين نصب أعينهم التوقعات المستقبلية للتوجهات العالمية، وخاصة ما نراه الآن من توجه نحو مصادر الطاقة البديلة التي ستغير تقييم الغاز والنفط إلى أبعد مدى. نبارك ونهنئ كل الباحثين والعلماء الذين ساهموا في هذا المؤتمر، سواء كانت أوراق عمل أو بوسترات أو حضور، ونرجو أن يكون عطاءهم مثمرا وله واقع كبير على الساحة العلمية في العراق، وأن يمدوا جسور التعاون الدائم مع أخوانهم الباحثين والأكاديميين في العراق ليكونوا على اطلاع كامل وشامل بما تحمله ساحات العمل من مشاكل وتطورات وحاجات. نعتذر شديد الاعتذار لعدم تمكننا من الحضور لهذا المؤتمر الكبير لأمر مسبق يستوجب علينا حضوره. نبارك لجمعيتكم الموقرة جمعية البيئة والصحة العراقية في لندن هذا المؤتمر الذي يأتي ضمن سلسلة طويلة من المؤتمرات والنشاطات العلمية التي أقامتها الجمعية، مما يشير إلى النية الصادقة والاندفاع الناجح للجمعية في سبيل تقديم المزيد من الخدمات للعراق الذي يحتاج اليوم إلى كل الطاقات العلمية لتشارك في بنائه وتطوره ورقيه. وكلنا أمل أن نرى المزيد من المؤتمرات التي تنشد خدمة عراقنا المحتار. والسلام عليكم. الأستاذ الدكتور نادي يوسف ياسين المستشار الثقافي في لندن.
Point out that we are delighted that we have the representative of many Iraqi organisations in the UK, and they are the Iraqi Community Association, the Iraqi Welfare Association, and Al-Kindi Society, and the Iraqi Women's League. Thank you. Now I think the meeting proceeding will start. Dr. Jihan Baban.
Majid Al-Yasiri will read this lecture. Also, we are sorry to hear that Professor Adil Sharif, he is not with us today due to sudden commitments. He had to travel abroad. And we have asked Dr. Basil Saati, he will present his presentation for today. So we have a full house today of presentations, very important, and a good discussion. So hopefully we are just waiting to hear. Oh, they are here.
السلام عليكم. أنا نزار
نقدم إلى الدكتور فاضل الشلبي الخبير النفطي العراقي المعروف بجزيل الشكر والامتنان تقديرا لما قدمه من إضافات مميزة ونوعية ولعقود عدة في مجال صناعة النفط والغاز في العراق عربيا وعراقيا، وعطائه في المواقع النفطية الهامة التي يحتلها في العراق وأوبك وفي المنظمات الدولية المعنية بالنفط والغاز. تكريم خاص من سعادة السفير العراقي الدكتور صالح التميمي والسفارة العراقية.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. طبعا شرفني ان نقدم هذه الشهاده التقديريه للدكتور فاضل الشلبي نيابه عن سعاده السفير، وهذه الشخصيات الهامه العراقيه، وان شاء الله العراق زاخر بالقدرات والامكانات وبجهود الرواد في العلم والمعرفه بالعراق.
وايضا يسعدنا ان نقدم التروفي من جمعيتنا جمعيه البيئه والصحه العراقيه. اطلب من السيد مجيد حاج حمود الحضور لاستلام التكريم معنا. السيد مجيد الحاج حمود يتقدم إلى السيد مجيد الحاج حمود الشخصية الوطنية والاقتصادية والاجتماعية بجزيل الشكر والامتنان تقديرا لما قدمه من خدمات جليلة في مجالات الاقتصاد والاستثمار ومساهماته المميزة في خدمة العراق دولة وشعبا بمهنية عالية وبإخلاص.
أيضا شرفني الأستاذ مجيد حاج حمود، وهو شخصية عراقية معروفة وناشط، وبصراحة أنا شخصيا كثيرا ما أراه في جميع الفعاليات التي تقوم بها المؤسسات العراقية، وله حضور مميز، وإن شاء الله التوفيق دائما. شكرا أستاذ.
نقدم درع الجمعية. طبعا there are people who are supporting our society from the beginning, helping us, attended all the conferences and contributed highly to the Iraqi Environmental Health Society. In any way I asked for help to support us. Could I ask now Mr. Dog Ware to come down, please? He will be presented with our trophy.
I hope I can get it home without breaking it.
Bear with us because financially we have no support here. So we have one more presentation, one more reward, and hopefully in our future conferences we will reward most of you. And now if I ask another person who really contributed to our society, and Mr. Webb, if you come down.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor, and it's always a pleasure to help. And having traveled to Iraq a lot and knowing all of Iraqi people, it's always great to feeling that I can contribute, even though it's from here. But thanks very much, and I hope to continue with this work your organization is doing.
We have a trophy will be sent to two people at the Iraqi embassy, one of them the Iraqi ambassador. So it should be going to him hopefully next week. Thank you very much. Now if I ask the chair, please, of the morning session, Dr. Hussein Chalak, to start his session.
صباح الخير. أنا حسين الشلبي، بس أكون الشير مع الميتنج. طبعا عندنا قوانين في الشير. أولا نلتزم بوقت المحاضرة، كل محاضر إلى 20 دقيقة. فالرجاء نكون مضبوطين من ناحية الوقت، ونترك الأسئلة والأجوبة إلى فترة questions and answer session اللي هي تقريبا في حدود ساعة 11:40 دقيقة. فالآن أحب أن أذكر قبل ما أقدم الدكتور العزيز الدكتور فاضل الشلبي، حبيت أذكر بعض النقاط اللي أشوفها مهمة، لأنه إحنا بدنا نتكلم الآن على النفط والشعب العراقي بصورة خاصة. فنريد تطور المجتمع، والتطور مال الكوميونتي هي تعتمد على ركائز ثلاثة: economic sustainability، ونحتاج social well-being، وكذلك health and climate and the environment. So these are the pillars that get us in the right direction. طبعا في العراق what we can say up to now إذا ناخذ المصادر اللي هي مجموعة ونعتبرها المصادر البشرية، المصادر الجيولوجيكال كالنفط، والمصادر industrial output في جهة واحدة، ونشوف النتائج منها اللي هي يعتبر وجهان لعملة واحدة. فما أتصور واحد من عندنا I don't think any one of us is happy with that mixture of all the resources we have and the results that are coming from that. We are really in the kind of underdeveloped criteria. So we need to energize ourselves to cover things more effectively, and I think we, in this discussion this morning, we'll be covering things like the history of the oil, and this is where I'd like to stop and introduce Dr. Fadel Chalabi. Fadel Chalabi was born in Iraq in 1929, and he finished his schooling in Iraq and then went for his PhD in France, where after that he took lots of important positions in the government of Iraq, particularly in the oil sector. After that, he moved to OPEC for a short period of time. Then OPEC, where he played a leading role in not only representing Iraq, but contributing to the supply-demand balance worldwide. And this is where he is known as really an icon in the oil and gas sector. I don't need to say much more than that about him, because I don't want to take much of the time for his lecture. Dr. Fadel is going to speak about the history of oil and gas in Iraq. فتفضل دكتور.
شكرا دكتور. أول أشكر الإخوان على الانتفاضة طيبة. حبيت أتكلم حول موضوع الاحتياطي العراقي للنفط ومقارنة ببلدان أخرى. هناك عدة دراسات تشير إلى أن الإمكانية الحقيقية للنفط هي كبيرة جدا، وممكن أن تؤدي أن تؤهل إمكانيات كبيرة تؤدي إلى إشعاعات إشعاعات متعددة. مثلا الدراسات هذه تشير لأن العراق عنده إمكانية حقيقية توازي إن لم تكن تزيد عن ما هو بالسعودية. لكن نشوف السعودية وصلت السعات الإنتاجية للسعودية وصلت إلى 10 مليون أكثر من 10 مليون، بينما العراق ما بقى سوى 4 ملايين، وهذه 4 ملايين تتبع الجهود كبيرة. هناك فجوة كبيرة بين يعني التقديرات الاحتياطي والسعات الحقيقية. العراق عنده إمكانيات كبيرة للنفط ما معروفة كانت في السابق، ولكن مؤخرا وخاصة فترة ما قبل الحرب العراقية ليش العراق أقصى ما وصل إليه هو 4 ملايين برميل، بينما بالسعودية 10 إلى أحيانا 11. لماذا؟ أهم شيء
طيب
حدثين مهمين جدا في موضوع الاحتياطي والسعة الإنتاجية. الحدث الأول كان في عام 2015 1960، والحدث الثاني سنة 1965. هذه الحدثين هي اللي قررت مدى تخلف الساعات الإنتاجية في العراق. الحدث الثاني سنة 1965. في قضية مهمة جدا، وهي أن العراق كان باحتكار شركة النفط IBC، وكان مطلب الحكومة العراقية أنه تتخلى الشركات إلى مجرد الحاجة إلى عبد الكريم قاسم كان يرأس الفئة المفاوضة العراقية. إحدى المسائل وهي أنه هل بإمكان العراق بموجب أن تتخلى شركات النفط عن كل العراق وتجعل من عندها يعني مسألة تخص العراق. فهذا عبد الكريم قاسم يعني للشركات نازلوا عن أراضي بحيث نقدر نعيد استعمال شركات إيرانية. هو حضر الأسئلة وقال هذه الشركات تنطيني موجب هالأسئلة ما نريد. فهو حرر 6 رسائل معمولة من الشركات إلى الحكومة فيها تخلي عن الأراضي بحيث أنه تستطيع الحكومة العراقية دعوة شركات أخرى، شركات عالمية، لتطوير النفط العراقي. انتهى الشركات صورة الأسئلة الأجوبة اللي تنتهي العراق. رجعت الشركات وافقت على ما يريد عبد الكريم قاسم. عبد الكريم قاسم قال أنا مفتاح شركات التجارة اللي مطلوبنا، وأنا سأعلن للناس للملأ نجاح المرحلة الأولى للمفاوضات. الأستاذ محمد حبيب اللي كان يتكلم بمصلحة الشركات المصلحة الوطنية، قال لما مع سيادة السعيد هذه ما تلبي طلبات العراق، وأن تنازل الشركات عن مسألة الأراضي يعتبرها مو مسألة مهمة. شركات قالوا كل ما احنا نجي نحاول يجيبون مشكلة. فإحنا ما انسحبت الشركات وبالنتيجة وصل ذكر انتهى بقانون رقم 80 اللي أخذت العراق الأراضي العراقية شركة النقل العراقية أخذنا من الشركات وصفت 5 من الأراضي. قانون أعلنت الشركات أنه كل من يريد الاستثمار في هذه الأراضي اللي أصبحت حكومة يكون عضوا للمحاكمة. هذا معناته أنه ماكو شركة كانت تقدر أن تجد العراق في مواد في مجابهة الشركات والحكومات، لأنه هذه حكومات بريطانيا والفرنسي والهولندي كلهم بالحقيقة امتنعوا عن الاستثمار في العراق في الأراضي قانون رقم 80. ما أدري أن كان واضح. النهاية أنه الحكومة أخذت الأراضي لكن ما قدرت تستثمر. لأن الشركات دعت أنه تحت طائلة القانون، فالشركات ما أرادت أن تدخل في مع الشركات المسؤولة من حكومات أمريكا وإنجلترا وفرنسا الحكومة أخذت الأراضي لكن ما قدرت تستغل. فبكى العراق محكوم بما تبقى الحكومة. هذه كانت خسارة كبيرة جدا. يعني لو كان العراق مكتفي بما قال عبد القاسم وعندنا تنتهي المشكلة القانونية وتستطيع شركات أجنبية تجي تستثمر في العراق. ما كان حاجة. والقانون رقم 80 أدى إلى تدهور كبير في حصة العراق من الإنتاج العالمي للنفط. الحدث الثاني كان سنة 1965. صارت مفاوضات ويا الشركات اللي تسمع من قانون فقرة 3 قانون يمكن أنه تحقيق الحكومة ضيعت حق الاستثمار في الأراضي وبكى العراق جاء 3.5 فقط. كل الزيادة راحت إلى طهران إلى إيران وراحت إلى السعودية. قبل القانون رقم 80 كان سعر التاجير العراقية مليون وفي إيران 1,200,000 وفي السعودية 1,400,000. ورا 10 سنين السعودية وصلت 2 ملايين 9 ملايين. إيران شاه وصل 5 ملايين أو أكثر. بمعنى آخر أن الحكومة هيئت زيادة الإنتاج لصالح السعودية ولصالح إيران بدون أن يكون هناك إمكانية للعراق للإنتاج مرة أخرى. هذه حادثة في 81 و 85 إلى
85.
كان مليون ورا 10 سنين مليون السعودية 9 مليون إيران 5 مليون والإنتاج العراقي ظل رغم لصالح دول منافسة، يعني لصالح السعودية وإيران، وما أدري شنو اللي أدى العراقيين أن يتبعون سياسة هي اللي أهم شيء في العراق أن السياسة أصبحت مادة للمزايدات الوطنية، ولكن النتيجة هذا كان لصالح السعودية وإيران على حساب حصتنا بالاستقلال. سنة 85 انعملت نفس المصيبة. الوفد العراقي سوى مفاوضات للشركات، اكو فقرة مادة 3 قانون القضباني تجوز الحكومة العراقية أن تتعاون ويا الشركات. صار رجال يقدر يصدق الوطنيين في الوطنية والحزب الشيوعي كلهم كانوا مسؤولين عن المسألة. وظل العراق واليوم ما يقدر ينتج أزيد من 4 مليون، وزيادة الطلب العالمي انتهى إلى السعودية وإلى إيران. بمعنى آخر أن هذا العراق، مصيبة العراق هي أن السياسيين وجدوا من النفط وسيلة للمبارزة الحزبية الوطنية ونوافرها. يعني التخلف صار عندنا مسؤوليتنا احنا، مو مسؤوليات الشركات. احنا خلقنا في مصر يعني السياسيين، وعلى مدى الوقت انه اكثر اشياء مهمه ربما بعد الخلاف.
بالسؤال والجواب عندنا فترة. شكرا دكتور فاضل. الحقيقة نتيجة مهمة من اللي ذكرها الدكتور فاضل، أنه القابليات الوطنية هي موجودة بالعراق لاتخاذ القرارات السليمة، ولكن تتعثر بالسياسات اللي يأخذون بأساليب ما تسمى الوطنية أو أساليب أخرى اللي تعرقل الأجواء وعدم تفهم واقع. النفط هو سلعة تباع إلى مستهلك، والمستهلك ليس هو عراقي. المفروض أكو تفاعل وتفهم لما يعني الفيدباك اللي نفهمه اللي حصل، أنه الشركات اللي لم توقع على لم ترتاح من قانون 80 جبرت الشركات العالمية منعتها من الدخول. إذا يدخلون توديهم للمحاكم ومن يريد دوخة راس وما تعرف شنو. فهاي في الحقيقة نظرة مهمة إن شاء الله نتجاوزها بسياسات اللي هي تبتعد عن المصالح الشخصية أو ما يسمى الوطنية. شكرا دكتور فاضل، والناس تسأل الدكتور. ننتقل الآن إلى الدكتور لؤي الخطيب. تعريف إذا تسمعوني بدون مايكروفون that's okay. دكتور لؤي الخطيب is founding director of Iraqi Energy Institute. He was non-resident fellow at the Center on Global Energy Policy at Columbia University. Before that, he was a foreign policy fellow at the Brookings Institution. His past experience spans over 20 years of rich business involved with business development, public policies, executive capacity at various multinational companies. Dr. Al-Khatib focuses on Middle East political economy and global energy dynamics. His writing appears in many publications. I don't need to list any of them. Dr. Al-Khabib earned his PhD in Middle East politics from the University of Exeter. I leave the floor to Dr. Lorraine to fill us on his topic.
شكرا جزيلا دكتور. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be speaking in English, just to make it worthwhile for the few English speakers attending this session. First, I would like to thank the host for inviting me, and it's quite an honor to be part of this symposium and joining this panel, especially with my very good friend and mentor, Dr. Fadil Chelebi. I mean, I like the fact that Iraqis sometimes when they focus on introducing someone like he's an oil expert. So they introduced, when Dr. Fadil Chelebi was first introduced, is the oil expert, when very much his background and profession is very much well known in international law and economy, and of course petroleum industry amongst many. So he enjoys quite a wealth of knowledge and expertise. Needless to say, his role as an acting Secretary General in OPEC at a very critical time. And I'm so happy to be here and enjoying his wisdom and his contribution at his 9th decade. I wish I could live to that age and be fruitful or adding value to society. I hope his talk to be translated into English to be made available to researchers also. Now, back to the topic that I would like to focus on, which is on capacity building in a competitive world. Why I chose this topic is because that if we want to talk about capacity building on production, let's say, I mean, Dr. Chelebi just earlier talked about the oil and gas production, the need to maximize production. We really need to build up the capacity on other aspects, other dimensions of the whole environment to make such production targets possible. And I'm talking about the human capacity, the environment, the economic, the legal, basically all the attributes that contribute to the sustainability, to the sustainable development, to move into a more a meaningful and rewarding future for Iraq. Having said that, the world has changed dramatically over the past few years, especially after 2012. I remember that year that we were happy to reward Dr. Chelebi in Baghdad, where the Iraq Energy Forum, and Dr. Hussein was always also there. The thing is that since then, market fundamentals have changed. The energy mix have basically reconfigured global economy in a way where we now talk about not peak oil but peak demand. Not just only oil and gas, but also renewables and unconventional oil and gas, such as the US shale and so on. The United States had at least 5.5 million barrels of tight oil over the past 5 years, and this, in addition to the fact that now the United States have changed from a net exporter of gas to net importer of gas to net exporter of gas, where first shipments from the US reached Kuwait and the UAE about 18 months ago. So it's amazing how things have changed dramatically, and now we can see countries moving steadily and fast on moving into, for example, environmentally friendly, basically industries, such as, for example, the penetration of the electric vehicles into the market. Although a number that may sound a bit low, 1 million cars compared to 1 billion that we have today, but according to the IEA, we could see this number to rise to at least 300 million. So just imagine what nearly 1/3 of the transportation consumptions shift to basically to electricity, leaving very smaller margin on the transportation to be competed by conventional and unconventional producer of fossil fuel. In Iraq, we really need to take a note on this. Even OPEC members such as UAE, for example. I was in Dubai and Abu Dhabi the other day, and I could say almost every single car the taxi that I used, either hybrid, EV, or basically runs on compressed natural gas, CNG. So, and one may say that why move into gas and electricity and so on when they have lots of oil? Yes, they want to maximize production and export to secure maximum rent and develop their sovereign wealth funds and diversify their economy. Now, this brings me back to the discussion on Iraq. In Iraq, we had a golden opportunity back in 2003 when we inherited a budget of $6 billion from the past regime in terms of like the capacity that required at that time to finance the state. Of course, it was very little. Public sector was very much limited, a little bit below than 1 million. But the new class of politicians, the policymaker that took office after that day, have unfortunately did the ultimate crime in the name of economy. And I say that in every single symposium, and I say that in Baghdad. And basically, they completely relied on oil revenues. And they maximized the public sector from 1 million to 5.5 million, creating a gigantic social security system, siphoning every single dollar of the budget and channeling all the petrodollars to finance budget. Forgetting about that, this oil, the revenue, is not only the entitlement of the living, but the entitlement of the future generation. And when I say that, not in terms of molecule, but in terms of like revenues, we have lots of reserves. Dr. Chalabi talked about that, and you can, if you want to read more and more about the myths, oil myths and oil policies, that's the title of his great book that I used extensively in many of my research. The thing is that rentier states are missing the point. An incompetent politician really committing a dangerous act by not acting responsibly towards developing the economy of the state. We are now, yes, have moved from the 2.4 million barrels as per the plateau of 2009, just before the first and second bid round, to about 4.5. But that, 4.4 to be specific, but those 2 million came at a very high cost. They came, number one, about 4 to 500 from the Kurdistan region. So we're talking about 1.6 million that added into the baseline production.
And that came at a cost of nearly $80 billion of post-oil development. And if the Iraqi government had employed the right economic and government policy and implemented federalism accordingly as enshrined in the Constitution, that 80 billion could have added at least twice that capacity, and also could have helped reaching the zero flaring target, as opposed to flaring now gas every day worth of something like 5 billion, around $4 billion, because I think it's around about 1.6 BCF billion cubic feet of gas per day. Not to mention the rich and expensive liquids that get burned with the flaring because of the lack of processing and the delays of the capturing. Not to mention that it's becoming a hurdle not to move on any further in expanding the oil production because of the associated gas ratio factor to oil is around 80% of Iraq's oil gas reserves is in associated gas. Something that could have solved the electricity crisis in today's boiling summer. The amount of flaring that we do, it's equivalent to fueling 4 million households with electricity. And at this time, now when I talk at this time, the temperature in Shadow in Baghdad around 45 centigrade degree, in Basra 52, and this is in the shadow. And yesterday a friend sent me from Artaud in Romania the temperatures register on the direct sun was 75.5. Now, I don't know how those people working and digging the oil and things, but the fact that we are now just focusing on production, no electricity, zero productivity on petrochemical, failure in policies in water irrigations and no fertilizers, failure in monetizing and utilizing the associated gas, the damage we are causing to the environment, the cancerous factors that play into the health sector that we have because of the huge flaring and the pollution and so on. I mean, I can go on and on this, but this is the crisis. What we need is an integrated energy strategy that looks into building the capacity of the right competent cadets from the technical to policy to leadership in managing this sector, and to building sovereign wealth funds and basically building our cash reserves in a way to finance our investment portfolio and the reconstruction of Iraq, which could cost anything between 1.3 to 1.5 trillion US dollars, plus 1.3 trillion US dollars that they cost before Daesh. So just imagine, I mean, adding about a couple of hundred at least just to rebuild the devastated cities. This would send the bill way beyond 1.5 trillion US dollars. This doesn't come from the annual revenues or from the wrongly designed budgets that we have. It has to come from foreign direct investment. But guess what? Foreign direct investment doesn't just come because there is oil. Companies, investors, they have to screen all opportunities around the world, and they will go to the most welcoming, most successful business environment. Just a month ago, the UAE launched a complete package of reform in addition to the success story they've delivered in the past 10 years or so to attract more and more investors to compete within the GCC. So just imagine if Iraq would work in competing with other countries within the region and, of course, global. The issue, if I may want to conclude and leave questions leave more time for the Q&A session. Basically, we have a growing population. Our population, by World Bank stats, could exceed 52 billion US, 52 million by 2030. Some estimates suggest 60 million by 2035. Either figures are they are staggering figures, and very scary ones, because when you look into the unemployment ratio amongst youth, we're talking about 40%. And that 40% will grow further if we don't identify the right solution to accommodate them into some sort of educational programs and develop their capacity moving forward. This, of course, is an issue that targeting many nations in the region, not just Iraq, but Iraq in specific, is because we have caused, the policymakers there caused a bit of damage. In 2003, between 2003 and 2004, they changed the salary scale from what professors and doctors used to earn during Saddam time, $3, $4 a month, into suddenly $400, $1,000. Now, and then instead of kind of like, after correcting the salary scale, putting a cap on public sector employment and improving the private sector environment to create more and more companies to offload and create more job opportunities in the private sector. The employment focused on public sector employment, financing these jobs. So at the time of price volatility, it will hit badly. The Iraqi government must not be fooled by the current high oil prices. These are high because of the rebalance of market, the temporary rebalance of market because of the OPEC Pact and the issues that surround Libya, the threats that pushing prices high because of the Iran nuclear deal and so on. At the end of the day, technology is moving, technology advances is moving very fast. Research centers around the world working in developing the energy sector to enrich the energy mix and make it the world more sustainable, and basically we just have to think about our future beyond the age of oil. And in my humble opinion, if we want to think about like the peak demand, which is usually for companies, international companies and banks forecasted anything between 2030 and 2050, we should think way ahead of that and move fast. At the moment, some of the companies, some of the countries, like in the UAE, they can live off their sovereign wealth funds and investment without relying on oil. We need to think of moving fast and diversifying our economy and translating all these fossil fuel wealth into meaningful things before they stay bunkered forever. For I assure you, the world is now enjoying an abundance of resources. The question is how to monetize these resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Luay, for the great display of the problem in Iraq. Here, I'd like to give 3 minutes, if you allow me, to Dr. Fadel just to express a couple of points he'd like to follow up on his earlier remarks. Dr. Fadel.
نعتبر البدء التاريخ نوضح لأنه السياسة كانت تتحكم بمثل اعتقاد كان لو فرضنا انه محمد حديد لم يتدخل مع الامريكيين في مصر لكان اليوم الساعه الانتاجيه العراقيه مرتفعه عن 8 ليش. والسبب في ذلك هو انه اخر الستينات كانت الحاجه لنفس العراق على الارض، وكان بامكان العراق انه يفتح المجال لشركات استثماريه بمعزل عن شركات الاي بي سي، وبالتالي كان بامكان العراق ان يوصل الى لو ان محمد حديد لم يتدخل. محمد حديد يشكل شخص ثاني بشكل حزب الوطني الديمقراطي، معناتها انه هذا الرجل هو شيء لما حديد مو شخص قليل، لكن تدخله ادى الى عدم زياده الاستثمار الخليج العراقي. شركات التي تتعاقد شركه لذلك يبين مدى تاثير السياسه على العراق بحيث يؤدي الى زياده كبيره للساعات على السعوديه. هذا فقط أقول كم هو عامل خطير في السياسة أدت إلى تخلف كبير في ساعات النفط العراقية اللي هي لا تقل عن السعودية. شكرا.
شكرا دكتور. قبل أن أقدم الدكتور فلاح الحامري حبيت أعطيكم بعض القراءة من الدكتور فاروق القاسم في إحدى كتاباته. قال في عصرنا الحالي الشعوب المتخلفة فقط هي التي ما زالت تنظر لباطن الأرض ما الذي أستخرجه كي أعيش أو كي تعيش، في الوقت الذي أصبح الإنسان هو الاستثمار الناجح والأكثر ربحا. هل فكرت أنت وتشتري الآيفون جالكسي أو آيفون كم يحتاج هذا التليفون من الثروات الطبيعية؟ ستجده يكلف عدة دولارات من الثروات الطبيعية، جرامات بسيطة من الحديد وقطعة، ويباع بأسعار خيال بمئات الدولار تتجاوز قيمته عشرات براميل النفط والغاز. شنو الفوارق بين المادة اللي استخرجتها والعلم اللي فات فيه والثقافة؟ فمثل ما تفضل الدكتور لؤي الخطيب أنه تقدم البلد هو تقدم البشر قبل الاستفادة من الثروة اللي هي مو بس ثروتنا مع الجيل هذا بس ثروة المستقبل. فيها كثير من المحاضرات، أنا عندي محاضرتين بالموضوع، كثير من الناس تكلموا في هالأمور، بس ما لازم ننساها أنه capability building مال العراق هي أهم شيء بغض النظر شنو الأولويات الأخرى اللي موجودة اللي تجابهنا، لأنه إحنا نعيش كأنه يوميا فاير فايتنج، يوميا تنخلق لنا مشكلة جديدة. هل المشكلة جت من الهواء؟ جت إحنا خلقناها. So we are responsible for it. So we better focus on capability building rather than focus on creating issues that is our making. Okay. Now I take the opportunity to introduce Dr. Falah Al-Amri. Dr. Falah Al-Amri has a PhD he was doing PhD between 89 and 94 in oil laws, and that's from College of Law, Dundee University, Scotland. And before that, he had an MSc in International Cargo Transportation Conventions, Salford University in Manchester, And in Iraq, he had between 73 and 77 BSc in economics from Basra University. He has very rich engagement with the Iraqi oil sector. Particularly, he's the one who has been very successful in securing the sale of Iraqi oil and his structuring of SOMO to be more following international standing and practices. So I'll leave the floor to Dr. Falah to tell us more about his topic.
كيف ساهم بشكل سيون أن يبني في نجاح في قطاع العمل الخاصة بمسألة الأسعار وما شابه ذلك. وآخر لقاء بيني وبين قدرت أنا أقدم مركز الحوار الإنساني أيضا محاضرة I think my presentation today maybe from government employee perspective, and I should agree in the beginning with most of what my colleague said, Dr. Eloy, but there is a lot of challenges that we have to mention to the audience. They may not know all of what's happening in the oil and gas sector, and I choose, there is a lot of topics in the oil industry, but I choose some of these points, which is the importance of security and also rural production and production of the new materials, and all these kind of, I hope I will finish all of them. The security, for me, the security is the most important thing since 2003 up to now. These are the most negative aspects which led to various aspects, including the transparency and integrity, and also political system. So the security really, from my experience, was the main reason for most of the negative aspects occurred in Iraq. We have a small building, SOMO. 3 times there was an attempt to kidnap people from inside the building, and they knocked my door in 2008, and they said to me, come out. And they, in the result, they kidnapped 5 people from the compound. So, and therefore, after that, 6 or 7 people escaped from SOMO, and they went abroad. So these are should be mentioned to our audience that there is a lot of obstacles available in Iraq, which make people working, especially in the oil industry, they are really heroes. But they need a better guide. We need a guide. We need a management, better management. We need people should be taken care of and develop and focus on human resources. Human resources, as my definition, is the most essential point in developing the oil and gas industry. So these are the points which are written regarding the security. The security is, and also the second point, stability of the political system. Stability of the political system is also one of the negative aspects, and this led to a lot of damage in the integrity of our work in Iraq. About the reserve, my two colleagues mentioned about the production and reserve. I think this chart shows you that at the moment we are 4th in oil production. This point for 4.65 is until 2016. Now the capacity maybe 4.8. And this can be distributed later, as I will mention. Regarding the crude oil reserve, I cannot add what Dr. Kennedy and what Dr. Reza said, but these figures show exactly what's our reserve. Crude oil reserve now around 143 billion, but there is a lot of effort now going on in the Ministry of Oil to increase it to 178. But the damage is done, as Dr. Kennedy mentioned. If everything went right from 16 up to now, I think we can reach to 300, more than 300 reserve. And if you have 300 reserves, that means you are able, with an orbit or our level, you are able to produce, you reach to 10 million barrels a day. The current production now, nearly 5 million. Nearly, some people say there is some kind of different opinion about exactly what's happening. Take the figure from me, because I was really up to 9 months managing these figures through my work in the Ministry of Oil. 4.2 from the south. This is the capacity now, but sometimes 4.1. Because there is maintenance, sometimes 4.50, for example. But now the capacity 4.2 and could be increased immediately if there is something to be done. 450 North Oil Company. North Oil Company, Kirkuk, plus there is small fields in the north. And for 6 years ago, we used to produce 600 from North Oil Company, 650, and we export 2.8, 280,000 through Jihan, and the rest can be consumed locally. But now, because of what happened in Kirkuk field and the relationship between the government and the federal government with the KRG, 250,000 from 2 fields by Hassan and Havana, they are out of work now. So we are losing 250,000 a day since last year. And before that, it was controlled by KRG, and they produce it, and the revenue but KRG produced now, or the capacity 350,000. This is KRG oil. But sometimes they produce 300, sometimes 330. The last figure I remember 330. So this is our really the real figure now, minus or plus 30%, and this is not a problem. The problem now, how to increase the production. The most important message that we deliver from this conference is Iraqi oil production should be increased and should be sustainable growth in the production, and at least 250 to 300 a year. If it is more, no problem. But that will abolish. From our statistics show that in the last 6 years, 7 years, maybe 200 to 300,000 a year. Therefore, there is many plans. Since 2007, National Energy Plan and Oil Ministry 10 years plan, 5 years plan. But the most important thing is that it should be practical and achievable. If you put just figures, you cannot. Some of the companies said, we will, I will be able next year, if this project done, I will be able to put 600 add to the production, 600,000. This is that's what happens sometimes by the managing director of a company. But the reality is that you have to take care of all the circumstances behind the thing. And then you can measure. My assessment, from my experience, 250 to 300, very practical, and in the last 2 years, we added only 180,000 each year. So it should be realistic, but 5 years ago, 2014, we produced 400 or 500 billion. Also, we have to manage to increase the spare capacity. Spare capacity is very important. During the war with Daesh, and there is a problem with Kirkuk, immediately, because Kirkuk stopped 250 from Jihan, immediately the Minister of Oil increased the production from 200 to up to 200, 250 within maybe 15 days. Why? Because there is a spare capacity. Saudi Arabia have always the maybe between 2 to 3 million spare capacity. So spare capacity are also very important. And also the other message, investment, investment, investment. We have to increase the investment in oil industry. In 2014, we invested 11 billion with the international company. In the last 2 years, we invested 6. And 6 billion will result in low growth. But we have to increase this page is very important message to Iraqi government and to Minister of Oil that you have to create a practical and achievable plan, capacity building, spare capacity, and investment. These are very important issues. In 2015, we produced another regret from Basra Light. We made to extend it to Basra Heavy, and that there was a lot of production from field which produce heavy oil, but this blended with Basra Light, which come from Zubair and Rumaila. And when we mix them, Rumaila and Zubair about 31, 30, and these fields from Akut to Nasriya to Amara, their API is very heavy, and their API between some of the field 27, some of the field 25, most of the field Majnoon, maybe 23 or 22. There is a lot of, so these are sulfur, heavy with sulfur, and API was low. So when you mix them with the Rumaila and Zubair, it was produced 26, and 26 API we witnessed and we experienced. One day there is 2, 3 tankers refused to load our oil. So therefore, SOMA took the action and sent the letter to the ministry that you have to, within 3-4 months, make two grades, and we succeed. The Ministry of Oil put a lot of effort to make arrangement with the pipeline, and now we produce since 2015, June, we produce 800 to 850 heavy, Basra heavy, and we succeeded to market it, and now a lot of demand on it, and also we saved Basra Light, and now Basra Light is about 30 API, and acceptable. These additional some figures, for example, about Iraqi capital investment is constrained by oil revenue. This is from Wood Mackenzie, very famous institute. So oil revenue, you see the development of oil revenue from 13 to 18. Non-oil revenue really less than maybe 5%. So we are really hijacked by oil. So oil should, as my colleagues mentioned, that oil should be looked at to change our mentality toward oil, to make it only for rebuilding Iraq, but we have to diversify the economy. Without diversifying creating industry, agriculture, a good sector, improving the service sector, improving the tourism, I think we will be really, one day we find like that now the problem of water, shortage of water. I think one day, and we experienced in 2015, we used to receive 8 billion a month. We generate revenue to the government, 8 billion a month. But in 2015, after the oil collapsed, our oil became February, I remember, our oil price is 22 per barrel, Iraqi oil. And the next month, March 24. And the government really secured only less than 2 billion from oil. And the salaries and all the pension and expenses about more than 5 billion. So imagine the hard work done by the government to secure the salaries. Because if you don't do salaries, that means within a month everything will be destroyed in Iraq. So really, we have to move away gradually from oil revenue. The cost of our oil, many people said they think that our oil maybe cost each barrel 30, 40, 20. These are studies done by Restart Energy and also in Iraq. We did it in Iraq. It's $10.57 for the total cost between COPAX and operation cost. So all of them, operation cost and CAPEX, all as it's mentioned here, each barrel is $10. But if you tell me what's the cost of barrel in Rumaila, because it's a huge production, more about 1 million and a half a day, the cost nearly $5 in Rumaila. But if you go to some of the field, one of the field which is very low field, and you have to spend a lot of money until the oil accumulator, 37. But this 37 is percent. If you just give the figure without explanation, this will make ambiguity to others. But therefore, we focus on the average, weighted average. And this is reasonable, like Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. I think three of us, this country, the same, similar cost, maybe a little bit up or down. There is a lot of really logistic facilities challenges, pipeline storage, terminals. So we need terminals, and from now we have to plan to how to increase our export capacity. Export capacity is very important, and we have to look for our small, tiny space on the sea, Gulf area, which is only 37. And we are the only country for producing country. Our port is 37 miles from our port. So we do not have really port near our port like our countries, our neighbors. So therefore, I think the capacity now about 6 million a day in the Basra port and SPM, this submersible port. We need to, from now, add new capacity to meet the demand when our production within, let's say, 10 years become double, for example, from this. So we need to prepare from now. No need for produce oil. That's what's happening from 2010 until 2014 or 15. We increase the production, but there is consumption in the storage and pipeline. Trading, because I am specialized in market, I was responsible about marketing of Iraqi oil. There is really, we did a lot of work on this, and internationally very known what we did and transformed SOMO from a very destroyed country when we received it in 2006, destroyed company. Now it's become the same level of international companies, but one thing we need to add is transform someone from marketing to trading. Some people say, what is the difference between marketing and trading? We are only marketing our oil to international companies, and we contract for 1 year with them, allocate, select them, allocate each for each company, and then when they accept how much we give them, then we implement the contract and sell our oil to them. But trading, we don't do trading now. In the last 2 years, we entered in joint venture to prepare our staff, their oil ministry, to prepare staff for trading activities. If we complete this task, they complete this within the next 2 years, and we have an arm, trading arm, they sell and buy our oil on the free market, then I think marketing sector in Iraq will be really very important and very useful. And so also we have to increase, transfer our from FOB to CIF, from FOB to CIF. This is very important point that we have to sell higher tanker, and we have to conduct insurance. This is another point that we are working on it. I think I have to stop here. My message is there. These 3 points about the renewable, we can't forget it. And if you want somebody ask me about the renewable, no problem. Thank you very much for listening.
As the chairman of the session, I do have some prerogatives here. Can I start the question and answer session now before Dr. Majid gives the presentation? For a simple reason, because I feel we're sort of, Dr. Fadl is our icon here, and that he's not really feeling that great. So we like to benefit from his energy right now in answering questions, and then we'll take the next presentation once we finish the question and answers specifically related to Dr. Fadl and the speakers that gave. Would you mind? I mean, I've decided that, but I like as a democracy. Everyone is happy with that? Okay, thank you. Okay. Any questions? We'll go to the questions and answers. If you would be kind enough to mention your name and be specific in the question who you want to address it to, and hopefully, and your affiliation first. Okay, we start with the gentleman.
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
Thank you very much. My name is Amr Gorgis Hermes, and I am principal at Capital Business Strategies Limited. It's a small management consulting firm. It's been running on for about 20 years. What I'd like to do is to take the panel from their extremely thoughtful, rigorous presentations to just the next, if you like, zone, and say to them, if the next Prime Minister, and I hope he or she will be there soon, more likely to be he, there soon in Iraq, and calls the members of the panel individually and says to them, we'll be fine about production, I'd like you to tell me 3 priority things I should do with the rent that I'm getting from oil in order to revive the economy. What would those 3 things, priorities be? Please tell me in 3 minutes, because my head of the Prime Minister office, it could be Al-Allaq or anybody else, okay, is taking notes and he doesn't have time, he has to go to another meeting. So can you please be specific, 3 points. What would you do with the rent to revive the Iraqi economy? Thank you.
I think if you ask me, I would say nothing. This requires a lot of thinking to take the reality, okay? But I'll leave it to the panel.
That's fine.
I jumped here where I shouldn't.
ما موجودة في أي بلد نفس العالم فقط بالعراق. السياسيين هم يلعبون بالقرارات قطع النظر عن الجوانب الاقتصادية كل المزايدات الوطنية ما موجود منها في أي مكان في العراق. وهذه فيها نوع من مسابقة جاءوا اختبار وطنية بغض النظر أنه هذا إجراء سليم من ناحية اقتصادية أو لا. العراق نفسه مبتلى بالسياسيين يعني الأهداف السياسية أكثر مما هي تأخذ بنظر الاعتبار من واقع الصناعة النفطية وإمكانيات العراق النفطية. الواحد لما يفكر أنه العراق عندها هي لماذا وقف الإنتاج أقصى شيء 4 ملايين؟ لو كانوا ماشيين بعوامل اقتصادية كان اليوم العراق ساعات ما تقدر على 18 مليون، لأنه السياسة أدت إلى جعل العراق مغلق للشركات الأجنبية، وبالتالي بقت الساعات الواطئة على حالها بإعادة يومها ووضعها. فبالحقيقة هذا موضوع النفط والسياسة لعب دور جدا كبير في الوقت الاقتصادي في العراق. الاقتصادي لو كان العراق مفتوح للاستثمارات الأجنبية لكان اليوم الطالب العالمي على مستوى العراق يمكن يوصل 8 مليون وليس 4 مليون الآن. مع الأسف الشديد أنه كل من يتكلم بالموضوع لازم يكون هو وطني أزلي ومجاورات بالوطنية. لا تعني للسياسيين مصلحة بلد اقتصادية وإنما تصورات يعني لو ناخذ موقف محمد حديد اللي هو احترام، ولكن وقوف ضد ما رد عبد القاسم باسترجاع الحكومة الأراضي والتنافس دولي. كان بإمكان من الستينات كان الطلب العالمي في أوجه العالم، ولكن اللي يأخذ يستمتع بهذا الزيادة الإنتاج العالمي هم شاه إيران وآل سعود. العراق أو العقود العراق لما سوى التأمين سنة 72 ما لقى بالشركات التي غير واحد مدير شركة يقول لا ليش؟ العراقيين حلوا محل الأجانب لأن هذه الإمكانيات العقلية الفنية العراقية ما استغلت لشيء صحيح. وبالتالي أنا أقول إنه يعني كفى أن نتكلم بالسياسة. علينا الآن ننظر للواقع الاقتصادي مثلنا. ما أعرف.
Yeah, in a nutshell, what you try to say is to decouple policy from politics. Now, if I may share my thoughts on this, it will be, it has to be like three. So, number one, we need to decouple the regulators from operators. We cannot continue having the Ministry of Oil as a regulator and at the same time as an operator, because all these operating national state-owned companies taking directives from the regulator. This is a complete conflict of interest and will continue to cause mismanagement and corruption. That's step number one. But before that, but in tandem with that, sorry, we need to revisit the energy sector. The energy sector at this point in time split into three portfolios. The Ministry of Oil, Ministry of Electricity, Ministry of Oil, Ministry of Electricity, and the petrochemical industry within petrochemical sector within the Ministry of Industry. Now, those three ministries really need to merge and to be the Ministry of Energy. And this is something I passed as an advice back in 2008. The Saudis implemented this strategy back in 2015. And moreover, they did that decoupling. The third thing is that we really need to restructure our budget. Now, our budget, it cannot continue to siphon every single dollar from the oil revenues. What we need to do is do a capping, like every single dollar based, like for example, we are exporting based on the budget 3.5 million. Revenues, it should finance existing budget. Now, to work on restructuring the public sector and offloading the 5 millions into private sector, it will really need, it needs about a good 4 to 10 years minimum. This is a complete two stable government terms. Now, for this to take place, we need to cap all the revenue of existing oil. Like, so all the 3.5 million goes into financing the existing budget and future ones. But any new oil, based on like reaching to 6, to 8, to 10, net, whatever plateau we are targeting, it has to finance two things: sovereign wealth funds, well, three things: sovereign wealth funds, repayment of national and sovereign debts that we have, and three, providing basically incentives and loans to local private sector, to flow to the private sector. Now, within that restructure of the budget, we really need to think about two sectors that is being neglected and it's completely impacting the development of the nation in a regressive way. And this is healthcare and education. At the moment, education allocation within the budget is 3.9%. Now, this is, I'm talking about the Tarbiya al-Ta'lim, so higher education and standard education. When in fact, if I would benchmark these percentage with, for example, Saudi Arabia, 23%, with other GCC members, 40% plus, European, anything between 12 to 16%. And this is not to mention the contribution of the multinationals and the donors and other endowments into that. This is just the budget. In Iraq, we have this 3.9, 3.8% in the most ineffective way of, and an ignorant way of handling the practice of education and higher education, with zero contribution from the multinational and no endowment, because there's no trust from the multinational community, international community, to support because of the corruptions and mismanagement. So these things, I would kind of like the three criteria. Thanks.
Thank you very much for this very important question. First of all, everything in Iraq is a priority. Hello?
Charge it. Use the other one.
Charge it? So everything in Iraq needs priority. But there is top priority regarding your question, and I will focus on the oil industry. It should be a policy, and this policy should be clear and practical. And for me, if you tell me what's your priority to be given to oil sector, for example, oil sector, there is also tens of 20 of priorities. But the most important is the investment, and increase the investment in oil and gas sector. Secondly, increase the oil reserve. Thirdly, work very hard to eliminate the gas flaring. We worked since 2012 up to now. I think they manage now 50 or 60 flaring cones. So these are for myself, and also special budget for oil ministry, because they suffering each month they have to persuade the cabinet to have to allocate certain money to this project. For example, it should be, for example, let's say allocate $15 from each barrel to oil ministry to cover its capex and opex. Thank you.
اختارت العبيدي.
هذا العبيدي. كان بعرف شوية.
We're only having one more question to the gentleman here.
أستاذنا الكريم فاضل الشربي، تربينا على ايدك نفطيين. بس عندي ملاحظة واحدة يا أستاذ فاضل. فترة الستينيات أو قانون 80 انتقل انتقاد كبير من الإدارة النفطية اللاحقة. ما هو السبب الرئيسي في عدم زيادة الإنتاج؟ IPC من 1955 اتفاق مع الحكومة بزيادة الإنتاج وزيادة الحصة النفطية وتشكيل مجلس أعمال، والموارد المالية راحت إلى من هذا الاستثمار. من 55 إلى 58 مجيء قاسم IPC ما زيدت الإنتاج بس بوتيرة تتناسب مع إمكانية البلد كبشر وكإنفراستراكشر، وانتظرت إلى أن تنتهي مشاريع مجلس أعمال حتى يبدأ الإنتاج بالزيادة. رغم ذلك وأنت خبير نفطي وكنت بالإدارة النفطية، IPC كانت استمرت بالزيادة، بس مثل ما تفضلت الثورة العاطفية الوطنية والأحزاب اللي كانت موجودة دائما دق على مسمار بأنه تقليل النفط وعلى أساس زيادة الإنتاج. أنا كنفطي متأسف أقول ما في داعي دائما نركز زيادة الإنتاج، والتجربة اللي حصلت في العراق في السبعينيات زيادة الإنتاج زيادة كبيرة، وفي ليبيا زاد الإنتاج، ولكن النتيجة ما هو اللي حصلنا فيه؟ حصلنا وفرة مال، ولكن أرجع للنقطة من الدكتور عامري، سوء الإدارة المالية وسوء إدارة الموارد الطبيعية.
السؤال رجع شو السؤال بالضبط؟
السؤال لا مو سؤال مجرد تعليق. السؤال انا ارجع على 3 نقاط اساسيه اللي ذكرتها تشيرمان استاذ ستيفن. التنميه البشريه ضروريه. دكتور وائل البدائل ضروريه. دكتور المانجمنت ضروريه. احنا لا ننسى ترى برميل الكوكا تضعف برميل النفط. ومثل تفضلت وفاء القاسم ايضا الايفون اللي مهارة طبيعية كلش قليلة. هذا مجرد ملاحظات ما عندي سؤال. وعفوا الدكتور فاروق وخاصة الندوة عن البيئة. البدائل ضرورية. السولر، الويند، الووتر إلى آخره. شكرا.
مرحبا دكتور علي حسين طبيب متقاعد. سؤال الدكتور نايف. السنة الماضية الأستاذ الدكتور محمد توفيق الحلاوي نشر دراسة قال في خلال 5 أو 7 سنين بالأقصى الحاجة للنفط راح تهبط هبوط يعني دراماتيك بسبب السيارات الكهربائية، واللي شرعوا لها في العالم الغربي واللي متجه لها حتى الصين والهند. فانهيار السعر النفطي في خلال 7 سنين هل يعني يبرر الاستثمارات الهائله اللي محتاجها العراق بزياده الانتاج يعني الريزيرفز اذا هو السعر النفطي يعني حاجه للنفط راح تقريبا قل الربع يمكن، والسعر طبعا كذا.
شكرا. بصراحة الأفكار اللي انطرحت كلها واقعية، ورجعنا إلى من زمن الستينات وأثرها. فإحنا عندنا نحكي هواية صار كلام عن الماضي، إحنا بدنا نتكلم عن المستقبل. يعني أتمنى من هذا المؤتمر المؤتمرات التي تعطينا رؤية للمستقبل. اللي تفضل به الأخ حول أنا عندي توجس من انخفاض الاستهلاك النفطي. هل هناك خطط يعني تفضل به دكتور تنويع المصادر الانكم مال العراق، هذه مهمة جدا. لكن النفط يبقى. هل تعتقدون أن زيادة الطاقة الإنتاجية سوف يعود بالفائدة على العراق من حيث تكون عنده كلمة في السوق النفطية في زيادة الأسعار في انخفاضها؟ هذه يعني نقطة مهمة. وبالنسبة لبناء الموارد البشرية شيء أنا أعتقد جدا مهم والحكومة مشتغلة عليه، وعندنا كثير من الموظفين في وزارة النفط يعني يعملون الدراسات في الخارج. بس أنا إذا تسمح لي دكتور ريثر، نقطة مهمة هي التكامل بالاقتصاد. يعني دائما النقاط الحوارات تتركز صح، احنا جايين نحكي على القطاع النفطي، بس القطاع النفطي مو بعيد عن باقي القطاعات. امس كنا في مؤتمر انطرحت اكو مشاكل مثل ما تفضل دكتور فلاح. احنا المشكله في تطبيق التشريعات، لكن ارجو همين مثل ما تفضلتوا الحلول المستقبليه واثر يعني الانخفاض الاستهلاك النفطي بالعالم.
شكرا. هسه اغلقنا الاسئله. تفضل.
أشكر جمعية البيئة والصحة العراقية على هذه الفرصة الطيبة، وأشكر الأخوة المحاضرين الذين أفاضوا في بحث الموضوع وأهميته وفوائد العراق. إلا أنه هنالك جانب واحد فقط أنا أختلف به وهو الجانب المالي. أين تذهب واردات النفط؟ وكم هي واردات النفط؟ وماذا بنى العراق منها من مشروعات اقتصادية؟ نحن لدينا ثروة هائلة وكبيرة قلة من البلدان تملكها. وبتقديري وحسب ما اطلع عليه أن النفط مادة تصلح للصناعات مئات الصناعات وهي مهملة، وحتى قسم منها يروح البحار النفط الأسود ومفضلاته ولذلك أعتقد يعني هذه الفرصة جدا طيبة. أعتقد يجب التركيز على اقتصاد النفط واستعمالاته وأهميته وكم هي واردات النفط. وأشكرك.
شكرا.
Well, just to wrap up on some of the answers. With regards to the 1996 and the future of productions and so on, I think Iraq should work fast and smart to maximize oil production to reach beyond 10 million barrels. Not because, and by the way, we don't need to have a reserve of 350 billion barrels to reach that plateau. We have enough reserves to sustain us on the current production plateau for the next 100 years. The problem, I don't have a century. I have about 34 years. And I have 34 years not saying that the need for oil will be completely diminished. No, I completely disagree with all these reports. There will remain to be a demand for oil, but we are living in a world of abundance of resources. This thinks that oil only exists in this country or that field or in the Arab world, whatever has gone. Now the United States are net exporter of gas, transportation moving to EV and to gas and so on. Norway next year they are building the first airport and launching an airline that runs on solar system for heaven's sake. And they are trying to completely move their transportation system with all the incentives into electricity. That doesn't mean we will not use fossil fuel. No, there will be a lot of use, but there will be a competitive world on these kind of resources. So that's number one. Number two, when we're talking about integration, what did the Saudis do? The problem in Iraq, we kind of tend to think as if like we only exist in the planet called Iraq. We don't think of what is happening in the region and in the world. And this is the problem of so many so-called experts. They could be an excellent production technologist or a geologist or whatever, but the moment they jump into policies and economies and laws and legal framework, they start to mess around. The thing is that they lack really any knowledge of any updates. That's why every time we talk about the past. In 6 days from now, we will be celebrating the 60th anniversary of the 1958 revolution/coup d'etat. Until this time, there is a debate in Iraq. We don't know whether it was a fair revolution or a traitor coup d'etat. So the thing is that, I mean, we really need to kind of like move away from this talk and look for the future. Now, for the future, we have very limited time. We have a lot of wealth that could definitely the reserves could easily double. I talked to so many geologists, to so many international oil companies, and the geology supports the figures that could go way beyond 300. But what do I need beyond 300? Venezuela has got 350, more than Saudi Arabia. What is the story of Venezuela? Go and Google it. It's all about managing the resources and building the right policies. Saudi Arabia, King Salman went to Saudi Arabia. What did they do? When they talk about developing the marketing strategy, and here is a marketing person next to me. What did they do? They went and they expand on the marketing strategy. by signing mega deals with China, with Malaysia, with Indonesia, with India, nearly, just in one visit, nearly 95 billion, to be specific. That's not, I'm talking about the signing, 95 billion minimum. And this is building refineries, locking the opportunities of the consumption, not just selling the crude, okay? The same thing when it comes to, of course, the cross-business sector and so on. Here in Iraq, our refining capacity hardly sustained to 590 or 6,000 barrels, when the actual needs about 1.2 million now, we need now. By the time of 2030, we need about a minimum of 2 million or more, just to meet local demand. Now, this will eat from our production capacity. And we need to develop a spare capacity, and the spare capacity, even the financing of the spare capacity is very rewarding. It can be cost recovered. Because, for example, now with the crisis of high oil prices and the Saudis need to produce, the Saudis jump to basically open their pipes, and they can reap profits from meeting demand. Where is Iraq? Zero spare capacity. The other thing, if we want to develop our oil policy, we have to think beyond the age of oil. The question, when is this point of beyond age of oil? I say that peak demand could be anything between 2030 to 2050. Having said that, there will remain to be a call for oil, but that margin will be competed fiercely between the various producers, the unconventional and the conventional, and on top of that, the energy mix contribution.
Saudi Jahuri. I have 2 points. The first point is that management of oil revenue. There was a law tried to be published, passed by the Parliament, I think 2007 and 8, and now they put it on the shelf. Management of oil revenue is very important. Nothing to do with the oil ministry, nothing to do with the electricity power ministry or what I ministry. The important is how to allocate and how to divide this oil revenue, focusing on give priority to developing Iraq, not only Iraq become, the government become a state of giving salaries, distribute the revenue of Iraq. The second thing, I think the latest chart I read yesterday, America, how the vision of American energy in the future, which is 2040. 2040, 35% of their consumption is oil, 15% gas, and the rest focusing on the electric cars and biomass, less than 40%. This is 240. IEHS figures, you can go, Google it, and then you can find this figure. So there is, this is an important point, we are in a transition period from fossil oil age or oil age to renewable age. But this will take time. Like coal. Now, 25% of American use is coal. But 50 years ago, 30 or 1950, I think, coal is number 1. So, but now we are in a transition period. The oil, fossil oil, and coal and natural gas decline gradually. This is in America, which is the most country used energy. Thank you very much.
I think this question and answer session is coming to conclusion. We'd like, if possible, for Dr. Fadl to leave us if he Yeah, and I'd like to thank you very much for being with us and giving us the gems from your iconic years in oil and gas. So if you Okay. So now we move to the next part of this morning session, which is Dr. Majid is going to present on behalf of Dr. Sabah Mushakked. In the meantime, I'd like to thank very much Dr. Nu'ayn al-Khatri and Dr. Falah al-Amri for excellent contribution and presentations we heard from you. Thank you again. On behalf of Dr. Sabah Mushakked. So if you'll be kind enough to.
Thank you very much, Professor Sabah Mushakked. It's a pleasure to the Prime Minister for Investment and Construction in Iraq. It's a joint presentation with our Technology and Mushakked Management System expert. I have to confess, I'm a psychiatrist and I am wearing an economy investment hat, so I do my best. We wish Professor Mushakked all the best, a quick recovery, and we apologize for taking the time. So this is about the future, and this is about what to do with the money from the oil. And this is some of the points about Professor Mushakked CVs. Well, to do opportunity for investment, what we should invest in. And this is about infrastructure. And you could see you have a list of every possible thing, from hospitals to schools to parks to roads, and there are opportunities for investment. And this is kind of a map of Iraq where these opportunities are widely spread. Oil and gas, tourism, culture, others, and many others. The aim of this lecture is to make Iraq cities more attractive to the investment from the private sector, local and international, and create a healthy investment environment. Various people mentioned how the current investment environment is an obstacle, and Professor Mushakked will deal with that. And really what the aim is to create consistent and sustainable investment environment, build up confidence, which is very important for efficiency and effectiveness, focus effort on citizen satisfaction, use a quick wins approach, and build the foundation for a long-term development strategy. Quick introduction to what can be achieved, the obstacles to investment, the challenges to investment, and very important to learn from the international experience. And what can we do? Now, the current status, repellent to environment and repellent environment investment, high risk market, bad experience for previous project, and this is from a survey done by the World Bank, and that contract management is complicated, lack of BPF, BFI experience, and there's no evaluation and monitoring. Corruption and bureaucracy does contribute largely to this situation. And it has the worst world ranking. Critical element, attractive investment strategy, city master plan, funding, and quick win project. Vision, planning, and leadership, very important. The element of strategy is financial incentives, exporting projects, local banks, reducing special financial risk, contracts, PPP law, evaluation, control, building capacity, and deliverable, and KPIS, low risks, production joint ventures, provide total solution, build confidence and efficiency, eliminate corruption, reduce bureaucracy, and building capacity. Media and PR. And these are essential for large investment, but take time and face a lot of resistance. Now, the city market plan is 20-30 years restructuring plan, Vision 2030, roadmap for 10 to 15 years, define priority object, so Helmut's mentioned priorities, its economic and social impact, determine investment required, show integrated project, and define coordinated plans. And finally, building confidence with large investors. Essential, cannot be done in a short period of time. Private fund, jobs, private investment must have income, direct and quick income, housing, malls, private hospitals. Interestingly, in Baghdad, everywhere there are malls being built, long lease to governments, public hospitals, schools, long-term collection from the public road support. Difficult without facilities and infrastructures, but can be done for essential small project. Now, what about quick win project? Small yet attractive to the public, media investors. This is me in my old age. What is required to attract funds? Clear vision, very important. What, why, when, and how. Strong support from the government, committee, transport and professional details, well thought of. Not easy, but can be done at attractive areas in Iraq. Vision and planning. Well, subject, reducing risk and proof of certainty, defining coordinated support, defining required resources, priorities, following up with partners, being able to facilitate monitoring control, and build confidence with international investors. Nothing good can be done without planning a small or large project and investment. Efficiency must be good, but not good enough. Be proactive. Investor institution, plus high professionals who understand the process and have high communication skills. With good planning, a quick win project can be funded. Al-Ashar River and Basra. This is before, and this is after. Require good coordination with the Minister of Oil and IEHS. With good planning, quick win projects which can be funded. Modern village housing project in Basra. This is before, this is now. Collaboration with Minister of Health and local banks. Al-Sina Road, Al-Wahida area in Baghdad. Challenges, encouraging private sector, challenge two procurement methods, and challenge three public sector reforms. And these highlight point what are the important issues, like incentivizing the private sector by risk reduction, feasibility and project brief, transparency and clear path, both separate structures, to avoid bureaucracy, and facilitate, raise trust and confidence, export guidance, banks, local, long-term development, and business excellent tuning. And project life cycle, phase, planning, bidding, funding, design, construction, and operation. And again, selected private sector consortium, signing, funding, and operation marketing, conditional finance and control, and public sector monitor and control. PPP financial risk over project life cycle and financial risk levels. Sort of how from high risk to medium risk. And difference between PPP and high risk investors to share risk to incentive and private companies. So sharing risk seems to produce better outcomes. Proposed phase of work. Phase 1 focus on quick win. Create team and plans for quick win project. Approach potential partners and funders for a meeting workshop. Discuss group outcome of the committee. Produce coordinated plan for delivery. Work with partners and funders for tenders. Evaluate tender contract. Monitor and evaluate project. Work with media. Evaluate overall experience. Phase 2 is master plan and investment strategy, evaluation, outcome and identity-based strategy, and really what Professor Rashad is outlining different aspects of this investment strategy. And phase 3, large infrastructural project, launch master plans and investment strategy, align investment strategy with priority project, and implement investment strategy. Action. Hire committee for investment on construction. National Company of Investment, public and private share. National Investment Bank with $1,000 million. Hire committee for investment on reconstruction. Project selection and criteria. Execution, monitoring and control. And these are criteria which Professor Mashar argue for in terms of phase 1. And this is a table which highlights various aspects of the plan, from economical impact to social impact, environmental impact, project size, as an environment, health society, and this organizes conference, really we are interested in this black box environmental impact, energy consumption, pollution, independence on grid. Now, evaluation criteria: red high demand to Iraq, orange medium demand, and green low demand. And you can see majority right. And this is the I'll skip. Well, this is the final evaluation matrix. Discussion. We already have section investment strategy. We have already done it. We have done this before and it work. These are discussion points. We know that there is no way to work. We know a system. This is too simple for a system. This approach can work in Iraq. There's two components here. Because years from the project, how you can do that in a short time. That is not hard to do. Thank you very much. I'm not prepared to answer any
Here I am asking you to come and sit next to me to answer some questions. I was going to say if you sit down so we can answer some questions. It's really very interesting topic, this one, because somehow with my experience, particularly in international, I haven't worked in Iraq, we call it Ras al-Mal Jaban. People don't spend a penny unless there is some kind of a decision-making tree before you actually move on to implement anything. Iraq is, unfortunately, the first thing is any of your people are likely to be killed, because the investors normally are companies coming from outside trying to do some business in Iraq. It's foreign direct investment, as an example. I don't think we can guarantee that. So that's point number one. We need to lay the grounds for it. Then we look at why are we coming to Iraq while there are other opportunities elsewhere? More competitive, more attractive, with a future for development, issues like that. Economic evaluation always comes the last thing when he secures, because quite often people want to enter in as a seeding for a future. This is like, sort of building. And I wish Dr. Sabah, a good friend of mine, but I wish he is here so we can squeeze him a little bit. Are we dealing with academic situation, or are we dealing with the reality? While we got an investment board in Iraq since 2007, if I'm correct, and up till now, if you ask me, have they succeeded in anything meaningful? My answer is no. Okay? Let me give you some background to what I'm saying. Other than the fact that all these issues, security and lack of financial institutions that can handle the in and out of money, policy, stability of the political system, all these are negatives which need to be addressed fully before we get to this lecture. The second thing is everyone is leaving agriculture, leaving the towns, coming to Baghdad, and Baghdad is becoming the magnet for theft, the magnet for sharing the pie, and that really doesn't work. The first thing in my mind, if we're really trying to redistribute the wealth in Iran, look at getting people back to where they belong, because they have much better opportunities, whether it's religious tourism, whether it's historical tourism, whether it's agriculture is a gold mine everywhere. Okay, we can't survive one day without importing our food from outside. Okay, we're talking about water shortage. Do you know they corrected me? 95% of the water is wasted for the agricultural sector that produce hardly anything to Iraq. Okay, and we're talking about water shortage, whatever. It's a matter of looking at the basics to get back as a country, stable society, and goods can emerge from all sectors in Iraq, not just in the city which is prosperous and this. So that's my point of view. But I like the presentation because it's a dream. I like to still visit the dream once in a while. Okay. I think we have 5 more minutes for the question. Anyone want to ask Dr. Naj a question?
And I prefer on psychiatry.
Dr. After sorry, there was a question.
العفو دكتور، الاستثمار الخارجي جدا صعب يعني يجي للعراق. فالاستثمار المحلي هو خلينا نقول الحل المطروح امامنا، خاصة اذا مثلا شفنا اغلب الشركات النفطية انه عندها شركات هي حكومية لكن الشغل اصلا عاملة بالعراق، يعني تحت نطاق اخر مثل لوكويل، غازبروم، بترول تشاينا، سينوك، هي شركات بالاصل حكومية عادة للحكومة الصينية او الروسية مثل السعودية أو إيران، هي بالأصل أكو شركات عندها هي بس خارجة من النطاق المحلية، بحيث تستثمر الأيادي المحلية لكن تحت إدارة أجنبية أو تحت مانجمنت عالي، خرجت بس فقط عن النطاق المحلية، خصوصا إذا نعرف هسه بالعراق مثلا أغلب الشركات إنه مثلا تستخدم أصلا المعدات والأجهزة مال الشركات مالتنا، مثلا أعرف أنا اشتغلت بحقل الفاير وزرقاء نيسان، مثلا الشركات الصينيه تستخدم معدات شركه نفط نيسان وشركه الحرب العراقيه. فبالمقابل مثلا تحت اي نطاق نقدر ندخل مثلا مصرف العراق للتجاره او نقابه المهندسين او المؤسسات مجتمع مدني بحيث نقدر نبني شركه اجنبيه خصوصا مثل موجود مثل خبراتكم اصلا تقدر تدير اصلا هاي الشركات تحت مسمى اجنبي مثل خلينا نقول عراق.
اوكي اسئله اخرى؟
Dr. Said very well defined the parameters for bringing foreign investors. What we are concerned about local investors, and this has been going on for decades. Everybody says, let us protect the private investor. The important thing that we have to create a protection law for the private investors. What does that mean in terms of flow of the capital, helping? We are coming from social structure, economic structure, to capital structure. So we have to, the government should help in terms of utilities, cheaper fuel, for example, using the equipment provided by the state construction companies. The insurance structure is very important for any company to work. This has to be established. The banking structure has to be modified to suit the requirement of the private sector. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, the last question. Microphone.
Sorry, shall I speak in English or Arabic? Arabic or English?
We have a few English guests.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at, sorry. I'm just looking at what's been presented. It's been presented as a strategy for reconstruction or development and so on. This to me, looking at that, I don't know of any country in the world which has gone through what Iraq has gone through, having adopted an approach of this kind and having got out of the mess it's in. What we have here is not a plan. What we have here is a menu of desirable things, projects and hopes and expectations and whatever. And we have a hope that maybe some financiers, of course, in this case, what it's looked at is finance is the only thing. Finance is the guiding thing. Finance is the king. That's where it's going to come from. That's what it's going to lead in this case. There's no plan. There's no action. There's no government action that is coordinated, that is within a time frame, that is across sectors and that is consistent across sectors, that sets out priorities. That's the main question. Sets out priorities. What are the government's priorities? The government's priorities is it wants everything. Well, it's not going to get everything. What are the government's priorities? What is the time frame for it? This is how economies are built, not in any other way. What we had in the previous session, we had also about oil and whatever. The one thing that was completely missing, almost completely missing, there was a very passing mention to it. There was mention to it from the floor, from Mr. Majid and there. Industry. Industry is ignored. It's not to be talked about. This is something that will come through finance later. That's how the thinking is. This is not something that government can invest in, that is within the priorities of government. And I think the question here is, and we also heard that we don't want, we want the funding to go into some kind of broader, some kind of big funds that then distribute the resources as and when, financial resources as and when somebody comes and requests and wants to do that. Now that's not a plan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the contribution. We have a question from Dr. Safar, and then we like a couple of minutes for Ahmed Stadiji. A couple of minutes.
مؤتمرنا اليوم برعاية دولة رئيس وزراء جمهورية العراق الدكتور حيدر العبادي وبمشاركة السفارة العراقية، وطبعا نشكر الدكتور حيدر العبادي على رسالة التهنئة اللي استلمها المؤتمر، ونشكر طبعا الدعم المتواصل من سعادة السفير العراقي في المملكة المتحدة الدكتور صالح التميمي وكادر السفارة العراقية العلمية والمهنية بقضايا البيئة في العراق وتزايد معدلات تلوث الماء والهواء والتربة وتأثيره على صحة المواطن العراقي. وقامت جمعيتنا بفعاليات مهمة ونشاطات وفي 2018 سجلت رسميا في بريطانيا كمنظمة تجمع مدني خيري وغير ربحية وتعتمد على التبرعات الغير المشروطة. نظمت جمعيتنا مؤتمرات علمية مهمة وشارك فيها علماء من بريطانيا وأوروبا والعراق، وأولها كان في 2016 حول التلوث البيئي في العراق التحديات والمعالجات، والثاني في تموز 2017 والثالث في شباط 2018، وركز على علاقة التلوث البيئي بالصحة العامة. والمؤتمر الرابع اللي هو اليوم المؤتمر المهم جدا الذي يعقد اليوم حول صناعة النفط والغاز في العراق التحديات والفرص. طبعا احنا هسه كملنا المرحلة الأولى من المؤتمر وهو السيشن الأول حول قدمه خبراء اقتصاديين في النفط والغاز، وحضر تم تكريم الدكتور الكريم فاضل الشلبي وأيضا السيد عبد مجيد الحاج حمود، وقدم الأستاذ لؤي الخطيب محاضرة قيمة حول الطاقة وحول improving يعني تحسين الطاقة في العراق ومستقبل الطاقة في العراق. وأيضا قدم الدكتور فلاح جاسم العامري حول نفط العراق والغاز وشنو هو التشالنجز اللي فيس العراق يواجه العراق في المستقبل. طبعا احنا من جمعيتنا صدرنا بلاغات وصدرنا بيانات حول موضوعات آنية مثل بعد تحرير الموصل. ركز البيان على أهمية الاهتمام بالجوانب البيئية في عملية إعادة العمران. في 5 حزيران 2018 أصدرنا بيان بمناسبة اليوم العالمي للبيئة تناول عدة محاور. الأول شحة المياه وتأثيراتها البيئية والصحية، والثاني حول تقليل معدلات تلوث الهواء نتيجة معامل الطابوق والمولدات الكهربائية، أيضا وسائل النقل، والثالث دور الإعلام في الترويج لقضايا البيئة والحفاظ على البيئة. وأيضا أصدرنا حول التصحر في العراق والزراعة ومواضيع استراتيجية مهمة حول الأهوار وأهمية حماية البيئة والتنوع الإحيائي وحماية التقاليد الاجتماعية، التلوث الإشعاعي وشحة المياه. وأيضا يعني سيتناول الأشياء الاقتصادية حول العراق وحول صناعة النفط والغاز، والذي هو المصدر، طبعا المؤتمر جدا مهم لمستقبل العراق، وهو المصدر الرئيسي للثروة الوطنية وأيضا الجوانب والتبعات البيئية لهذه الصناعة المصاحبة للتنقيب والاستخراج والتصدير والحوادث الناتجة من الأقل النفط الخام. وأيضا راح يتطرق حول الآثار البيئية والتلوث النفطي الذي طال التربة والهواء والماء وصحة الإنسان العراقي، واستخدام التكنولوجيا الجديدة للتخلص من تلوث التربة والهواء مثلا وتلوث الماء أيضا. مشاريعنا المستقبلية راح تشارك جمعيتنا في مؤتمر البصرة للمشاريع العملاقة وللنفط والغاز والبيئة، وسأكون أحد المتكلمين في هذا المؤتمر. وأيضا سيكون في شهر تشرين الثاني في هذا العام 11 تشرين الثاني راح يكون عندنا مؤتمر علمي جدا مهم حول التصحر وشحة المياه والتصحر بين شحة المياه والتغير المناخي، وأيضا يشمل البايودايفرسيتي يعني التأثيرات على الأحياء والنباتات. وشكرا.
شكرا جزيلا.
نعم بالتوفيق.
ويعني نتواصل احنا دائما نتواصل بالاتصالات
دكتور احنا بحجة المؤتمرات نشوفهم يجون يزورونا تسلمي. لا بس على نوفمبر ان شاء الله ناوي.
ان شاء الله. على نوفمبر. اي ان شاء الله. الله هلا بيكم.
توفيق مستمر دكتور ان شاء الله. شكرا.
This organization working on a variety of issues related to conflict. We're working in Iraq since 2002, doing a lot of work mainly on minority rights, women's rights. And since the late 2010, 2011, we started also working on looking at conflict and environmental issues because many of our partners expressed concern about the health effects of past wars. And when the conflict with Daesh escalated, there were more issues, so we started documenting and monitoring the environmental impacts of the conflicts. And today I will give a presentation about conflict and oil pollution, which is a long-standing issue in Iraq. And I thought before I start talking about the impact of the last couple of years on oil pollution, I'll briefly give you a short overview about what happened in the past, because it still echoes in until today. It's still issues we're discussing today about the collapse of oil infrastructure, the dealings with oil pollution from past operations, and how it impacts the oil sector in general. So there's a long history in Iraq. The Iran-Iraq war already had a large impact in the south. Destruction of refineries, drilling platforms, the marshes were heavily affected. It was limited environmental awareness at that time. I was just looking up some information on the Iraq-Iran war and the impact on the health and environment, and there's hardly any information available online, hardly any research being done, which also hampers trying to understand what the kind of impacts and environmental impacts are. And it has never in the past been a priority for reconstruction, or was limited because of the sanctions. So the Iran-Iraq war, I was barely a baby, so most of you probably know way more than me about this, but so just to give a brief introduction, brief overview very fast, just of the size of the pollution that was taking place. So there were large attacks on refineries on both sides in Iran and Iraq. There were the tanker wars that had left a lot of vessels that were sunk with crude oil. There were large oil spills in various oil fields in Nablus in Iran, in the Noruz oil fields where there was 6,000 tons of crude oil spilled. it was kind of interesting because I was looking into information about this, and it was also fairly well monitored by the CIA, who just released all these documents a couple of years ago. And going through all these documentation, it was kind of interesting how much they monitored what was going on, what kind of impact it had on trade, what kind of impact it had on refineries, what kind of impact it could have on the environment and trade relations. So there's also an abundance of information there in case people are interested in that. Just go to the CIA website and you can retrieve all these documents. Iran in 1991, the Gulf War, again, oil was used here as a weapon of war, mostly by the Saddam Hussein's army, who forced the Kuwaiti Gulf fields, but also there were attacks on oil refineries by the US and its partners, bombings of refineries, the use of crude oil trenches that started burning in the south. Major facilities were attacked. Also, again, here there was a good overview based on US documentation of what they targeted, which became available online, which I used as well. So basically they targeted facilities throughout the whole of Iraq, from the north, from the Qassim one, close to Mosul, to somewhere in the south, and in between the Lachi, the Samawa, the various oil fields, or not oil fields, but installations were attacked as well. So it already severely hampered the oil infrastructure back then. Estimations are valuing between 4 and 10 million barrels crude oil spills. Between 600 to 700 oil wells burning in Kuwait, and large pollution in the Persian Gulf. So then we move on to 2003. Again, further attacks on oil facilities because it could impact the military operations by the coalition forces. In Baghdad, the Iraqi army again used oil trenches and crude oil just to block the sites from Allied targeting. But also it was a collapse of environmental governance and protection post the invasion in Iraq, which later on already started to see that was becoming, the oil industry became more of a target. And this was also documented very well in the 2005, 2007 post-conflict environmental assessment, which some part I can tell you more about. I think was involved in doing that, but there was also documentation of this various sites were targeted. So between 2003 and 2014, it was taken these years as between the post-conflict invasion and the ISIS campaign in 2014, there were various attacks on facilities throughout the country as a strategy. So immediately afterwards, I think in August 2003, there were already attacks on refineries, and throughout those 11 years, there have been attacks on oil pipelines, pumping stations by various armed groups, especially again around Baji, Kirkuk, Basra in the south as well in the beginning. A large oil spill, so especially in the Tigris River, there were kilometers long oil spills from attacks on pipelines, localized pollution at refineries themselves. There's a couple of images. So the big one here is in the south of the Tigris River. This was, I think, 20 or 30 kilometer long oil spill in 2014, in early 2014, which they didn't have the capacity to clean that oil spill, so they just put it on fire. And in the south, in the right corner, there's an attack on a refinery in Basra in 2008, which created oil spills. In the top corner, in the top here, is the Baji oil refinery. So the toxic legacy from the Islamic State campaign. So initially, there was a lot of fighting also again from the Islamic State around oil facilities to try to take over. As well as we saw in Syria, they needed the crude oil for export and to establish their so-called caliphate to get money and get income revenue. And then back then, Baji oil refinery, Gayara in the beginning, green oil fields. We witnessed in Iraq, which we also saw in Syria in 2013, because professional sites were taken out, but still crude oil was used. So people started to sell crude oil, or the ISIS started to sell crude oil to civilians or anyone wanting to make money, or they did it themselves in oil fields, and they started artisanal oil refining. So here you see on the left one is a large oil refining makeshift oil refining site south of Mosul, where we use satellite images just to estimate how big it is. There are over 600 refineries at that site, and there's a zoom in of how it looks like from close up. So basically, they dig a trench, you fill it with water, you start heating up the crude oil, and then you evaporate it. The evaporated smoke, the smoke of the oil comes out and it's being distilled, and you get kerosene or benzene, but you scale in Syria. So in Syria alone, we've now documented over 500 clusters of oil refinery sites. At each cluster, there can be between 10 or 1,000 refineries. That's in Syria. So in Iraq, we've seen 20 clusters throughout Iraq. At least 1,600 were operational, 1,600 refineries between 2014 and 2016. And in particular, the biggest concern there is people working in the sites because they're heating up crude oil and there's a lot of toxic smoke coming out from there, people being exposed to it. And most of them are now, we've seen so far from satellite imagery, out of operation because the proper refineries are working again, but in some locations they're still in use. So this is the picture also has a localized pollution impact because of the waste products, especially some are close to internally displaced people campsites or other larger areas. So we're not sure entirely what happened there, but I can imagine for people working in those sites for a couple of years that they face chronic exposure to a variety of toxic materials and could create more health problems in communities. So the damage to the oil industry itself. So later on, so we have a couple of images again of attacks on the Bay of Sam and in the Kirkuk. In the top down corner, the left corner, again, there was in August, September 2017, large attacks on the geo oil field in the Green Mountains, where more wells were burned. And in the lower corner, the picture I took in January 2017 and Gayara, where they also torched the oil fields, which had a large impact. Those were the most visible, especially Gayara attracted a lot of attention because it was very visible. It burned for over 8 months and released a lot of smoke, which is very visible, of course, also crude oil spills at the location itself. So at Hungary, which is less visible but severely had severe impact as well. So we had picked up a large oil spill as well using open source satellite imagery from the European Space Agency, which there was an 11-kilometer oil spill coming from one of the wells. This image was taken in July 2017. This is how it looked like on the ground. We cooperated with local Iraqi journalists who were able to send people there and take pictures from the Iraqi oil report collected. This is still ongoing. This is an image from a couple of months ago. So there was a spill, still people working at the spill, and things not going well there. So in that case, it was somewhere in 2017, people at the oil well trying to pump up oil with some kind of, not sure what kind of equipment they used, but it went wrong. That caused the oil spill, but people still trying to pick up crude oil from there. And you see another image from September 2017 of the burning oil wells there. So what we want to do with this information, so there's wider problems. And last year we launched a report together with the Deputy Iraqi Minister of Health and Environment in Nairobi, which also looked at other destruction in the Iraq post caused by the Islamic State. There was a lot of severe levels of destruction in urban areas, creating a lot of rubble, which needs to be cleaned up. There was damage to industrial sites, which can, especially Al-Mishraq is one of the most known sites, but other sites are like smaller electricity stations, and there's more work done there. Hassan did a report on that, and we're trying to work with the government of Iraq together with CEOs to push for state support and clean up of those kind of conflict pollution. So what we have now in post-ISIS, I should word it carefully, but what we've seen so far is ongoing targeting of oil infrastructure, especially in Hawija and Kirkuk, and maybe in Diyala and other sites as well. So that's a risk, will be continuous risk when we target those sites to limit oil production. There is still absence of sufficient expertise to assess and address existing problems around key oil infrastructure in modern Iraq. And we also see like weak environmental governance can lead to more pollution. So here's an example of an image from I took this week. This is southwest of Erbil, where 2 well beds were burning. I don't know what the cause is. We were trying to identify if this was just restarting the well when something went wrong, but since there are 2 wells burning, it could have been an attack as well. Just to demonstrate that it's an ongoing threat and needs ongoing concerns to protect these sites. Here's another example also from the earlier Hungary, where you see like crude oils being collected in reservoirs and try to map all these the sites and the pollution they cause. So you see a short overview where the makeshift refineries are, where damaged refinery sites in general are. We've also witnessed a lot of pipeline leakages, especially between Bachi and Turkey, pipeline where people trying to tap off crude oil. So that's a reason for concern to address as well. Just mismanagement, use of outdated equipment, caused oil spills in some sites close to Aditha, where we saw, I think, some kind of crude oil geyser happening a couple months ago, and other attacks on key infrastructure happening north of Baghdad, which is just worsening the possible problem. So why are we doing all this? We also trying to demonstrate, it's not trying to, it's a real risk, and especially the environment is being considered lost. Most of the time, sort of low-hanging priority in these kind of post-conflict situations. But we do see like a lot of exposure of civilians to hazardous materials from the smoke, from the fires, the waste products. Communities are concerned because of the effect of the land, the ground, the air they breathe in, and they don't feel they're being listened to in terms of what the concerns are. We did a small key group interview in Guyana, where people felt the government didn't respond properly to their concerns. Of course, there are a lot of concerns as well, but this is sort of a missed out opportunity. And we're trying to work with local communities to see, okay, they need proper health, we need more awareness raising on the risk, all the local rights risk. There's also problems with workers in the makeshift refineries, so how did that end up in after 2 years of working in refineries? What kind of problems did exist there? And we think these health concerns are key for communities in recovery, because some of the sentiments we receive from people in these communities felt like if it's not being addressed a lot, the blame is being put back to the government, which is also not facilitating the political sensitivities around dealing with these, because they're considered to be the government to take a certain position towards those communities, especially in Myanmar. So monitoring remediation, this is an image from Guyana a couple months ago, where still crude oil is a big problem. Here's a dog holding crude oil. We need to, that's why I started this presentation with a short overview of past pollution issues, so that needs to be taken into account, looking at what happened in the past with oil pollution. Use existing data sets and policies to build proper interviews of all the locations, the size, and the natural environment where locations are. Identify key areas for intervention, so that's the work that the UN Environment is currently doing. Also involve commercial expertise from some more companies in environmental remediation, especially in the north. It would be helpful to understand what the impacts are. And having met with or talked with a couple of oil experts from the south, I understood there's a lot of knowledge available, but most of that is hidden behind non-disclosure agreements, so especially around tools, and that would be really great if those kind of companies could provide their support to cleanup and remediation, recovery, and of those polluted sites. And we need to include the voices of those affected communities in post-conflict assessments, and continue monitoring what the impacts of those, impact of those environmental pollution is on those communities, on their health, and especially at the moment where we have so many issues around water and water use, lack of access to clean water. It can stack up as a multitude of potential conflict issues that are currently taking place, that are currently developing in Iraq. So apart from all the other issues, this is something we feel like their voices need to be included in those assessments and also recovery. And also, I guess there's opportunity there for thinking about the discussion we had this morning, not to be too much dependent on oil when we're doing recovery or restriction. I'll leave it at that, and I think there will be more presentations later on as we go more into the wider challenges around governments, the challenges around that, but also how to address pollution in polluted sites. I hope to provide some very brief overview of past issues and the current problems, and looking forward to your questions later. Thank you very much.
Nice. Thank you, Wim. Yeah, it's interesting that the foreign narrative or the media narrative around oil and Iraqi conflicts is the huge big oil well fires from deliberate attacks or deliberate damage to sites, clearly what's less visible is the considerable pollution caused by poor management, poor environmental governance, but then also with the artisanal oil refineries, also the environmental impacts of the coping strategies of communities affected by conflict. And I think one of the issues we've seen, certainly with Chiara and elsewhere, is that while the world's media eventually turned up there to go and shoot this footage of these huge flames and clouds of smoke in the sky, as soon as they were put out and it died down, there's been a lot less interest from the media, and those communities who were affected by those fires clearly need assistance in health monitoring and environmental monitoring. Which I guess brings me on nicely to our next speaker, Hassan Pato. He's from the E-Systems Division of the UN Environment, particularly works in post-conflict and disaster management, particularly in designing and carrying out post-conflict environment assessments. Since 2003, there's a considerable list of countries that he's been involved in conducting their post-conflict assessments, including Afghanistan, DR Congo, Iraq between 2003 and 2006, Lebanon, Liberia, Rwanda, Sudan, and Ukraine. And he's currently working with the Ministry of Environment in Iraq on developing their capacity for environmental assessments and for identifying issues in Iraq post-Daesh. So, Hassan Pato.
Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I'd like to thank the Iraqi Environment and Health Society for extending the invitation to UN Environment. As was mentioned, I work with the Crisis Management Branch of UNEP based in Geneva, and we have been involved in Iraq since 2003, the sixth conflict. And then last year, we received a request, official request from the government to provide technical assistance in assessing the environmental impacts of the ISIL conflict. And so I've been engaged since last year back in Iraq. But on this topic of this presentation, I'll try to look at the oil and gas sector in its overview and to try to identify some of the key challenges and potential solutions to address the environmental problems in the oil sector. So just to outline the presentation, I'll just give a quick overview of the environmental governance framework, try to identify what are the key gaps, then go through a quick rundown of some of the priority environmental issues within that sector. A lot has already been alluded to in the discussions, and then maybe give some thought to the way forward. Okay, so when we talk about environmental governance, I think it's, we can say it's a decision-making process within society on how to manage environmental problems in a specific sector. And to break it up, it's modern environmental governance typically composes of four components: the policy regulatory framework, the institutional arrangements. That, of course, institutions are staffed with people, so they depend on their technical capacities. And as I think a member of the audience mentioned, finance is king, so you need money to actually put these laws into practice. So I'll look at this landscape currently in the oil and gas sector. Now, when it comes to the regulatory framework, the key legal document is the Environmental Protection and Improvement Law of 2009. This is a framework law which has incorporated a lot of the modern concepts of environmental management, like the pollution-based principle. Very importantly, also for the oil and gas sector, it includes environmental impact assessment review process, which is the standard tool that is carried out to look at the potential environmental impacts of projects before they are constructed, try to identify some mitigatory actions, and develop management plans to deal with these issues. And however, the problem with this law is that, yes, it sets out the overall principles, but the implementing bylaws are not yet fully in place. So the regulations, the procedures, instructions, rules, and standards which are needed
to implement the law and hold an industry accountable to these are not yet all fully in place. There are some of them, but not all of them. And then the other issue is that so they rely on previous standards or previous bylaws that existed, but the issue is that a lot of these standards now are outdated. So, for example, a lot of the pollutant parameters back in the 60s in the water sector, which are the standards which are being used, cannot, will not possible to detect with the equipment at the time. And the environmental conditions have also changed. As we know the discharge now in the Tigris and in the Euphrates River system is down to around half. So you need to recalibrate the parameters within these existing conditions. And also importantly, these environmental requirements only apply to future projects. So the projects which predated 2009 when the law was enacted are not yet fully subject. That's why most of the oil industry does not have enforceable environmental permits yet in place. And then the overall gap is that there is also no lack of a strategic environmental vision or policy for the whole sector. When it comes to institutional arrangements, there's an array of institutions which are involved in oil in the environmental aspects of oil management. Obviously, the key ones are Ministry of Environment and Ministry of Oil, but also the Ministry of Transport when it comes to the ports, science and technology, which deals with a lot of the waste generated. Then there's the oil industry itself, civil society, and academic institutions as well. However, as you can see, it's a bit fragmented landscape currently. There's no coherent arrangements between these various institutions. But the key institution, which has the legal mandate to provide oversight for the oil and gas sector in terms of environmental aspects, is the Ministry of Health and Environment. It's a relatively new ministry, established in 2003, and then was merged with the Ministry of Health in 2014. It has around 2,500 staff. It's quite a large staff complement. However, as was I think mentioned by Dr. Luay, is that a lot of this is the majority of the staff is administrative staff. So out of that 2,500, only 500 and 700 are technical staff, mainly engineers and chemists. Now, interestingly, when I kind of the findings that I'm kind of presenting are actually based on the capacity needs assessment survey that we did of the needs of the Ministry of Environment to manage the sector. And interestingly, the majority of the technical staff are women, particularly at headquarter level, but at the provincial level, it's mainly male. This is the organogram and photo of the Ministry of Environment in Waziria. The key implementing arm is the technical directorate. There's about 8 technical departments and 2 centers. Out of those, there's really 3 key departments that deal with the oil sector. There's the Environmental Impact Assessment, or the EIA, and Land Use Department. There's the department responsible for monitoring and assessing industrial services and activities, and there's the Chemicals Monitoring and Contaminated Site Assessment department. So there's not yet one central body which deals with this issue, but the tasks and responsibilities cut across various technical departments. What are the institutional challenges? I think for me, one of the kind of take-home messages was that there's a hierarchy, very clear hierarchy between the ministries. I mean, this is clear in most countries, but I think the balance in Iraq is particularly skewed.
So we say in Arabic وزارات سيادية that includes, for example, typically foreign affairs and defense and interior, but also oil is also included amongst them. So it's kind of a sovereign or supreme. I think it's misinterpretation of the term or misuse, so that it gives it some kind of immunity, as if it's immune or above the law. It's a bit strong, but anyways, it's an imbalance here, and you have a very small and marginal ministry which is supposed to provide regulatory oversight over this big ministry that is key to the economy. Another gap is that there's no national platform which brings all of the different agencies and departments for the oil and gas sector. Within the Ministry of Environment itself, there's this silo approach where everybody's working within his department, and there's no also coordination mechanisms in place. There's also inefficiencies in the interaction between the central headquarter ministry in Baghdad and the environment directorate at the provincial level. There's issues of communication. So, for example, there's an oil spill incident, or there's an infringement. It can take weeks for this to be reported back to headquarters, and then for a response to translate. So these are some of the ground problems that were highlighted by the staff themselves in the environment ministry. I think also the issue of weak engagement of civil society stakeholders and the whole debate about oil and dialogue is also an issue. When it comes to the technical capacity, as I mentioned now, so out of this 500, 600 staff, if you kind of divide them amongst all the different departments and between the regional and provincial directorates, you actually only end up with a handful of staff, 5 or 7, who actually deal with oil and gas issues. And for the environmental impact assessments, which kicked in with the first auction rounds, this is when it became mandatory for the oil companies to prepare these comprehensive reports. As you can see, they're very comprehensive and detailed baseline studies with environmental management plans, etc. Maybe one study is like 5 volumes. There's the issue of language. There's the issue that most of the people in the ministry are engineers and chemists. And so like specializations with social issues, health issues, ecological issues are lacking. So you end up with a kind of a huge backlog of many IAs which are stuck within the ministry. Another issue is that the ministry does not deal directly with the project developer. It always has to go to the Ministry of Oil, which kind of filters these schemes, and there's no real credible consultation process with the local communities that is taking place. Sometimes, with the leaders of communities, but in terms of information sharing and soliciting input from the communities is an issue. Okay, so once you have a permit is issued, then it comes to the issue of inspections and compliance to make sure that the industry is implementing the management plan. And then, again, it's essentially a one-man or woman job, maybe male because the people who work in the field are mainly men, although more women are interested in going out to do site visits. But again, if you have, for example, like the province of Basra, which is accounts for around 60% of the oil produced, you have 1 or 2 people in the environment directorate, which is supposed to supervise these super giant oil fields, which cover thousands of square kilometers, and there's no guidelines specifically yet in place. Accessing the site is an issue. You need to get permission because it's also a security issue. It can take weeks to access the site, so no possibility to do a spot check. And just the basic logistics in terms of mobility, vehicles, and field equipment is also an issue. Now, the staff themselves have received very limited training and capacity building on the oil and gas sector. According to our survey, nobody has been yet fully trained.
on the whole life cycle and the environmental aspects of the oil and gas industry to be able to perform their jobs. And a lot of it is self-taught, using YouTube or the internet, which is okay for orientation, but it's not sufficient for for professional and to make sure that you have access to the right information. Hopefully that's going to change. We have now a joint project with the Oil for Development Program of Norway to work on strengthening capacity of the ministry. Environmental data management is an issue. There's no central repository for all of this information in place at the ministry, or an information exchange platform. So building an information management system is also going to be critical. Once it comes to the budget, as you know, after 2014, after the ISIL conflict, the budget evaporated and is essentially limited to salaries, very limited funds to do any operational activities. There is an environment protection fund, which is sourced with fees and essentially for permits, but the amounts are small way to be able to conduct programs. This is a photo of the Environment Directorate in Mosul, which is the regional directorate. You can see a lot of this administration has been wiped out. A lot of the assets, the mobile labs and infrastructure has also been lost. Now, when it comes to air pollution, it comes to the problems, and key issues include air pollution, which a lot of it is done because of the flaring problem. And if you look at flaring, was also referred to in the first session, Iraq ranks right at the top. It's the second largest flaring country, producing around up to 15 billion cubic meters of gas a year. These slides are actually from carbon banks. In terms of the distribution of these flares, there are around 160 flare sites which were identified by satellite imagery, and 20 flares account for around 70% of the volume generated, and 30 flares account for 90%. So it's quite concentrated. Most of it is in Nisan and Basra, which account for 75%, and also in Kirkuk, which is another center. Now, before the associated gas was considered a waste product, but now I think there's more and more being done to kind of change this view and look at and take it as obviously as a resource. And I think it was already being mentioned that this can generate between $1 to $3 billion for the economy, depending on the price of gas. It can generate an equivalent amount of electricity that is currently being generated in Iraq, and then it's also a win-win situation in that it will eliminate a lot of the local air pollution. As we know, a lot of the oil that when you extract oil, a lot of produced water is generated, which includes a lot of salts and trace metals and hydrocarbons, and it's typically dispersed, without any environmental engineering controls, as you see here in Rumaila. Also, the industrial effluent from Dura refinery in Baghdad is also discharged without planned management. Chemicals is a big issue because you use a lot of drilling chemicals in the industry, and a lot of this is a stock of expired chemicals. It's because of damaged or poorly stored at the sites. Another emerging clash is between the oil industry and plans to and the nature conservation. This photo was taken after the visit of the UNEP executive director to the Hol al-Khawaiza in Maysan with the Deputy Environment Ministry, and you can see in the background all of the flares around these marshes which were designated a World Heritage Site. Already, apparently, a rumor is that 3 permits have been now allocated for oil development within the core part of the wetland. These are still rumors, but it's an under siege sort of situation. And kind of across, if you look at it between plans to develop the oil fields, a lot of it is located in the wetlands. There's also plans from the Environment Ministry to designate around a network of 20 protected areas. So trying to combine these issues and do proper planning is really important. Again, examples of the waste that is generated from drilling waste and cuttings is also disposed of in an irregular manner. When it comes to oil spill emergency response, there's no real system in place for early warning and notification. A lot of these spills happen because a lot of the infrastructure is old, corrosion of the pipelines, as you can see here, and on the Tigris River. A hotspot is around Beijing, in fact, Gorge, where a lot of these spills happen when you have a pipeline crossing the river. You can see the people also collecting water with trucks. Another hotspot area is the Shuttle Island, where you have a lot of the problems that can happen with sunken tankers. Now, the Ministry of Environment has been, according to the National Oil Spill Contingency Plan, which was endorsed last year, has the mandate to monitor coastal pollution, but they don't have the boats, they have not been trained. So again, enforcement is a key issue. Will address this extensively in his presentation. The commercial operations and sabotage are clearly a major source of oil pollution. Now, the North Oil Company, they've gained a lot of experience actually now by controlling these very difficult fires, but they've lost all of their assets. It was all destroyed and looted by ISA. They have to rebuild their response capacity. So to conclude, in terms of the way forward, I think some key issues will be to see how we can level the playing field and bring the Ministry of Environment really on the table with the Ministry of Oil, so that they have a much more functional working relationship. There's a need to build a coherent vision for the oil and gas sector. Typically what you do is a strategic environmental assessment of the sector that would look at not only specific projects, but would look at the cumulative impacts of several projects on a specific region, and we'll also look at the issue of the pace of development, how it links with other infrastructure like ports, railways, and roads. And that's missing issues also dealing with protected areas. We also need to update the legal framework. Unfortunately, there's a lot of draft regulations that we prepared, but they need to be enacted and enforced. Institutional capacity strengthening. I think we need to review the whole structure of the Environment Ministry and make it, see how we can prioritize the issue of oil and gas, and very important also training component. And finally, I think, as has also been mentioned by previous speakers, the issue of investing in gas capture is equally important. And there's opportunities here to get financing from climate funds, like a Green Climate Fund, to help scale up investments to address this problem. And then finally, just to conclude, maybe some PR for UNEP. We're having a webinar on environmental aspects of the oil and gas sector on 2 weeks' time, on the 19th of July. It's 90 minutes for those who are interested, and we're planning to have this on a regular basis. So for those who are interested, you're welcome to register. Thank you.
Well, I guess on the face of it, it was a fairly interesting presentation. Yeah, it seems very overwhelming, particularly in light of the conversations this morning about the need that various speakers wish to expand seemingly to do so without actually addressing these institutional problems, which could minimise this environmental and public health impact, seems to be not difficult to justify, I guess. I think it was I don't know, I guess this issue of environmental governance is common to many post-conflict countries or countries that are suffering or affected by conflict. Clearly, the environmental ministry in countries that aren't affected by conflict tends to be pretty low down the institutional ladder. Post-conflict, it's a very common picture that whatever capacity was there, they lost through technical damage or theft, as Iraq experienced with mobile laboratories or with the brain drain. And these have long and lasting issues for the environment and for public health in countries affected by conflict. Which brings us nicely to Dr. Jehan and their discussion on environmental and public health issues around contamination by oil in Iraq. No restrictions needed, I suppose.
Thank you, Doug. Actually, my colleagues Hassan and Wim, they almost covered everything in environmental pollution, so regarding oil and gas. So I decided I'm going to cancel some of the things as a repeat. I'm going to concentrate on the things which is not being said, which is mainly going to be the research work in Iraq, which is done on this matter on environmental pollution due to contamination by oil, soil contaminated by oil. So let's just go back to the basic and understand what does soil mean. Anybody in the audience know what soil means? What is soil? Good one. It doesn't work. We just go back to the very basic and start with the basic and what's not. If you can't remember what soil means, so it's very important natural resources for our life, which is everything is coming from soil. So our food coming from soil, plant coming from soil. If soil destroyed, contaminated by oil, so or any other source of environmental pollution, contamination, it's going to be no life. Exactly, no life, no soil, no life. So I hope when you go home today, you put some soil in your hand and have a look at it. What is this? Definitely has a lot of minerals in it. Soil is life for us, very basic. If we talk about healthy soil, which is fertile on air, which is essential for production of everything and production of life, plant food, healthy. Now, the contamination could be man-made, and well, it's mainly man-made. Could be industrial, agricultural activity, domestic, oil spillage. So we don't have time. I'm just going to focus on oil spillage. So the contamination of oil. So when there is some changes, undesirable changes like physical or chemical or biological, all those are going to change. The properties of the soil will change. Any effect on the soil will change all those. So how does this work with the oil spill? We talk about crude oil, which is the release of the liquid petroleum hydrocarbons, mainly made of hydrogen and carbon. Those are really very bad to the environment. Hydrocarbons that contain toluene and benzene. Benzene, which is a 6. If you're a chemist, any chemist in here? Yes. Thank you, Dr. Sabah. So we have 6 carbons in the benzene and 7 in the toluene. Now, the benzene will cause really serious problem with lung cancer. And the toluene will cause more serious problem, which is congenital disorders. In a way يعني تشوهات خلقية إذا اشتغل for a long term. Okay, so crude oil, the drilling site, damaged pipeline. I think my colleague Dr. Nadam is going to talk about this, about her technology, how to apply the new technology for the pipeline, for oil pipeline. Leakage, storage, bag storage, unskilled manager, failing to check failures, anything, which cause all those things, damages. That's just some pictures to show you the areas in Iraq related to what I'm saying. Continuous drilling without efficient and appropriate risk assessment of impact on environment, accident from the wells. Also, it damaged the oil, crude oil also would damage the wells. So and the water underneath the soil will be all damaged as well, contaminated. We said about hydrocarbon, which is mainly alkane, isoparaffin, isoalkane, aromatics such as benzene, and the polycyclic, the cycloalkane, unsaturated alkane, and alkene alkyne, which is having triple bonds. As I said, it may penetrate underground and cause now more serious things for the contaminating the water underground. Also, the vapor of it will release to the atmosphere. The weather in Iraq very hot. I was talking to a colleague of mine in Najaf. He said yesterday it's 56 degrees without electricity. So it's definitely going to evaporate some liquid of crude oil to the atmosphere. And just smelling it will cause terrible irritation to the lung, a health problem, and increase, and definitely is going to ruin the soil by increasing the pH up to 8 due to increase to the soil total organic carbon. Also, it will cause fire, immediate fire, with increase in temperature. That is a repeat. Just gonna go to. Also, it could affect animals, plants, and will change the biodiversity of our life. So the ecosystem will be changed because animals will die, and animals rely on those also cannot cope, so those will die, and the ecosystem will change, the biodiversity will change, all from one big problem. But no one could see this. The contamination of the soil is the biggest problem we have with oil. It's a very big problem. Birds, you could see, I'm sure some of you saw those films and pictures about birds contaminated with liquid oil, which is this poisons the animals, and birds go to the liver and lung and poisons crops. And I'm just going to skip most of this. Okay, so it comes by inhalation, ingestion, crude oil by smelling it. Okay, so what we need to do? We need to do regular inspection of oil site, cleanup and recovery. We need to have a law and order in Iraq. So we need to have regular inspection of people misusing the oil pipes. I've seen a film about breaking down the oil pipes and actually stealing the oil from one pipe and directing it to another place, and they got a big contamination of the soil. The biggest, so to prevent and control, we use trained people. People have to check more efficient to manage the place, the polluted area. Of course, we know bioremediation. I know some of you use this in the lab. I mean, some companies. Who is the oil engineer? Ali. You do use bioremediation, don't you? Yes, you do. Okay, not that. Okay, so when bacteria are used to clean up oil spills, many companies now use it. British Petroleum, Risk, and other companies in Iraq. Iraq use it to because it's inexpensive way of treating the contaminated soil with oil. Now, when at Baghdad University, they sent me, I cannot put everything in here for you today. We have a connection with many universities in Iraq, and they sent me research, scientific research work, which I accepted and will be published in our book. So you will see the whole thing published in our book. But today I will just mention a little bit about those discovered scientific publication. What do they do in Iraq? What are they working at the university to prevent the contamination of soil with oil? So they, as I said, they are using the remediation technique and to getting rid of hydrocarbons from the environment. And also, there is another study of soil polluted with crude oil. There is a study at Najaf University, which they use a special type of fungi in some soil contaminated with hydrocarbon waste. And they have now achieved very good results in that publication. It's not published yet, and they asked me to present it for you today as part of their studies. This is Najaf University. The most important result of this study, if you are concerned, maybe some of you don't know what I'm talking about, but this is exactly, or some of you maybe understand, the fungi and bacteria have had the ability to grow in these contaminated soils, which is contaminated with oil, crude oil. The study shows also that the prevalence of special type of fungi and the most important species were ASP, and some bacteria, like if you know those species, so I'll leave it for you. Increasing in the frequency ratio of these fungi will increase quantity of hydrocarbon compound added to the soil studies. This is the table showing the type of fungi and bacteria they use to getting rid of the contamination in the soil. So there is another way. So the another method, we said bioremediation and phytoremediation. So if somebody knows what phytoremediation, now it's more progress, more advanced than bioremediation. So it's similar to bioremediation, but we use different. The biodegradation of hydrocarbon, and they use different ways of finding out their results. Basra, of course, I did also research work from Basra University. Why? Because we are very much interested in Basra. What's happening? The more contaminated area soil is Basra. I think it's about 59% of Iraqi oil is coming from Basra. If we add Basra and well, the figure I got 59 from Basra, only from Basra. But 71%, if we add Basra to another two Safarat, which is Bighar, I think, and Misan. Yeah, I think those two, if we add three of them, we get 71% of the total, the whole oil of Iraq, total amount of Iraqi oil. The contamination in Basra is horrible. Whatever they do as a research work, we should really get interested in their work and try to publish their work and support them in any way. And that's what our society is going to do. We're going to support them because they are the most contaminated area in Basra. Also, Kirkuk, around those two cities, they have more oil in them, and the digging and the contamination is really bad. I think just show you, my colleagues showed most of the things, so I'm going to skip what I gave. This is in Gayara. This is what happened to the soil. It will take about, even with the validation, it will take about, my guess, really, because some articles show it differently. Takes about 13 years to 14 years to get the soil back to sort of healthy way for us to grow things in it. But some company published that using bioirrigation, it will take about 3 years to get the soil back. So we are still investigating what's happening about the soil. We are very much interested about getting the soil sorted in Iraq. And I think this is all I could reveal for you today. And inshallah, we will publish some articles, which is more scientific papers, which we could reveal some results. But right now, we cannot. So thank you.
As we're doing right for time, I'm going to open the floor for 2 questions. No more than 2 questions. The next few presentations are looking at kind of technical solutions to some of the issues around the oil industry. And so if anybody has a question on the environmental impacts, which Hassan and Wim and Johanna discussed, then you state your name, affiliation, and because of my amazing Arabic skills, I would be deeply indebted if you ask a question in English. So the chat at the back, please.
My question about the biodegradation of petrol. Now, these fungi and bacteria, do they actually digest the petrol or just survive in the petrol?
They do both. They digest and they survive. So they do both. But depends on the amount, depends on the site, depends on the size of the contaminated soil, and depends on the experiments you are doing. If you are monitoring the experiment, it depends how many days you are monitoring that, or months you are monitoring that. And depends on the area as well. In Najaf, different from Basra.
Hassan, do you want to add anything on bioremediation or vector remediation?
Ali would mind. Do you want to comment?
Don't mind. I have some quick question. So from the, I'm sorry, I'll just say who I am. Ali Al-Kaiza, I'm a price operations specialist at FATS. So what I wanted to know quite stringent rules around environmental regulations for the international oil companies. So if anything goes wrong, they're responsible for taking care of the issues. Where is the blockage in the process preventing them from doing so, having such contaminated soils in Basra? Because all the giant fields in the south have international oil companies as participants. So what's stopping them doing the remedial efforts to resolve those pollutants?
Well, I think in the south and the oil fields, many of these are legacy sites. So they pre-existed before the international companies came into action and signed the contract. So there's a difference between greenfields or new projects and the brownfield that existed. And they will separate the long heritage of pollution that has been created, because that's a big liability. So for the new process right now, it's just kicking in for the new oil field sites, and then they are supposed to develop environmental management plans, and then be held accountable to that. Some of the problems include is that a lot of these EIAs are not published, so nobody knows what is the management plan, what are the standards, and then the blockage is also is that there is no direct contact between the Ministry of Environment, which is supposed to provide oversight, and the actual developers, always filtered through the Ministry of Oil. And the Ministry of Oil also has Health, Safety, and Environment unit, which is also providing oversight, but there's clearly a conflict of interest. They are in the end a production ministry there. So that's the priority for the country. We heard from the speakers, maximize the production. So I think this is being lowered. But for the new international company, of course, they have an image issue. They have reputation issues, so they will try to follow for these standards. For the existing operations now, it's more about the auditing of their current operations. However, as I mentioned, there is no, the bylaws are not fully in place, so the auditing guidelines are not yet in place. So holding the existing industry, on what basis? If the rules of the game have not yet been clarified. So I think there's a need to develop these auditing guidelines, so that the procedures can be implemented. But obviously it needs also a ministry that is equipped, that has the staff, has the resources, and has the training to be able to deal with the oil ministry. A lot of these, are in the oil sector, a lot of engineers, very specialized, and you have environmental experts, generalists, environmental engineers don't have the expertise, so they don't have a good understanding of the process on the site and where to look for the problems. And the other thing is that typically is that the auditing should be done at the cost of the developer, but that's not included in the permits. I mean, if you look at a lot of in Norway, for example, in the contract, when you give the environmental permits, you include the cost of the audit for the environment ministry staff to go out and do these inspections. But it's now at the government's expense. So there is several blockages, and I think you need to assess that carefully. And we're working with now, I think now there's an opportunity with the Oil for Development Program of Norway, which is bringing in also the environmental pillar, hopefully, with the Ministry of Oil to raise the profile of the environmental issues. And we are planning also to, from UNEP side, to work with the Iraqi partners to provide training so that they have a better mastery of the topic.
Could I just add something? They are also focusing on research work to improve the workers who work in the field, because they are publishing so many health problems related related to the workers. I mean, I have received a couple of research work for our society to show us the situation about the health problem of the workers. So how do we do application unless we get workers to apply the theory, the things we are submitting? So the workers having the problem of health problem, and this is not being sorted. So.
I'm going to use my chair's privilege by taking some more questions afterwards, despite the very welcome breeze I just felt when you all put your hands up at the same time afterwards. So, yeah, we've got 3 more presentations now. That will have some more time for Q&A. We won't have any time for presentations if we keep on with the Q&A. So I just wanted to tend you down with some questions we want to do. Our next speaker was due to be Professor Abdul Sharif. Unfortunately, he's unable to come. However, Dr. Basil has kindly offered to present briefly. Never trust anything you read on a piece of paper when you have it.